Fans, welcome to TNA Hard to Kill 2024 Watch Along, live watch along presented by Game Up Hard Hydration. Dave, long time no see. How you doing today?
Oh man, my allergies are killing me. It's been a long week. I'm tired, but you know I'm fucking here for the fans, baby. TNA Hard to Kill 2024 Watch Along. Let's do it up, man. I feel like this is going to be a sleeper of a show. We didn't plan this. This was kind of a last-minute thing, but I feel like there's a buzz about this show, so I'm definitely interested.
Definitely. And you know what else is hard to kill is the flavor in Game Up Hard Hydration. It's as if your favorite sports drink in seltzer had a baby, but the flavor's way better. We got a commercial about it. Here it is.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.
And Dave, the pre-show is just about to kick off. Like you said, there's a big buzz around this show. When I initially heard that TNA was making a comeback, I don't know how excited I was because the TNA brand to me has always just seemed to be so problematic for them.
Right.
We saw this card. It is stacked. They are promising big surprises. So who do you see as a surprise or a debut tonight? What are they going to hit us with?
I mean, who's available, right? I mean, we know Alexander Hammerstone is on the card. I don't know if you saw this. Laredo Kid is on the card now because Trent Seven had some issues with travel. Yeah. So, you know, who's available, Joe, did you think of right off the top of your head? I mean, we know Nick Nemeth is out in New Japan. You know, who's a good free agent right now they could pick up?
I would say possibility. I mean, Mason Mansoor. I haven't seen them as listed on like any GCW cards this weekend. I don't know if they are making an appearance at New Japan, but I think they are kind of one of the free agents out there that could be a good fit.
You know what would be an excellent surprise, but I think it's a little bit of a reach, would be Mercedes.
That would be huge for Impact if they were trying to, you know, make a move to somehow compete. And it could explain why she hasn't officially showed up in like AEW or WWE yet.
Right. And they have such a talented female roster in Impact. Like, I feel like she would be such a great addition, and there'd be so many different people to compete with there. But again, I think it's this, you know, it's a financial thing. I don't know if Impact has the money for her. You know, they're not on that national stage. But that would be definitely something, right? If you're rebranding, you know, TNA and you're bringing TNA back and you want to make an impact, no pun intended, then Mercedes Moné would definitely be, you know, a way to go.
Now, anybody else watching on the Fight app, are you having trouble with the sound on the pre-show? Because I've got it turned up. Currently, there's no signal from the venue, but I'm not hearing any sound. Yeah,
so I got the same thing right now. I'm no signal from venue, which is just, boy, I hope nothing goes wrong. But boy, doesn't that give you TNA vibes right from the start, huh?
Yeah, and I mean, I guess this isn't so bad during the pre-show because it could be something as simple as they realized they didn't have sound. And maybe they had to disconnect something and reconnect something. We will see, but at least they're getting the bugs worked out now. And yeah, hopefully this doesn't keep up during the show. Is there any one match on this card, or what matches or what has been announced are you most looking forward to?
I said this on the show the other day, but Josh Alexander Hammerstone. I just think Hammerstone was the guy at MLW for so long. To me, he had the look he could be on a national stage. And Josh Alexander, same thing. You know, but he's been the guy for Impact. So I'm very intrigued just to see how their styles clash and how that match took place. Because to me, these are two guys that could be in stars in AEW or WWE or New Japan or anywhere they go.
Yeah, that X Division match, Sabin, Vikingo, and Kushida, that is also something that I am heavily looking forward to. Sound has been fixed on the pre-show.
And Sabin, Kushida, Vikingo, yep, so we're seeing it. Actually, ironically, you're a few seconds maybe, so you probably saw that already. Yeah, that's great. That's another match, Even though Vikingo has been making waves, he's been on AEW television, obviously with AAA, Kushida, New Japan for years. He's been in NXT. This is a very interesting matchup too. I gotta say, my guess is, you keep it on Sabin, but this would be interesting.
Yeah, you've also got women's X Division Ultimate X match. It's only the second time I believe that they've done that.
Yeah.
That Ultimate X match gets a shot at the Knockouts Championship.
Yeah. No.
Really
again,
back
women's division
playing right now.
I'm trying to think. The main event now is Alex Shelley and Moose, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting. I wonder with the rebranding if we're going to see Moose get the strap.
Yeah, it was a couple of years ago during one of their other rebrandings. Moose was near the top of the card. I think he held the TNA Championship while they were trying to do an Impact Championship. So they've flirted with him at the top, and I wondered that same thing. Could tonight
he's been Impact champion before?
Moose finally takes that top spot.
He's been Impact champion before. He had a match with Kenny Omega even when Kenny Omega was Impact champion.
And it's interesting seeing this pre-show video showing a little bit of Mike Bailey versus Kushida. I haven't kept up a lot with Impact.
Right.
So I was kind of looking forward to a little bit of the footage to catch up with some of these stories, because this pre-show has 3 matches. It's only a half hour. This thing is going to move quick, and then we're going to be right into that main show.
So the pre-show only has 3 matches, and we're looking at this right now, right? Interesting.
Right now, we're just watching a little video. This is a good match, Bailey and Kushida. This is one of those reasons why I got to tune into Impact more, because I miss a lot of things like that. Fans, let us know in the comments, do you keep up with Impact regularly, or do you keep up with TNA regularly? How excited were you for this? Are you looking forward to?
I was just wondering if these pre-show matches were airing somewhere else, because it's kind of fascinating that it's 7:37 and they're showing us this, and they're in the studio. Is it possible the pre-show matches are on Impact Plus?
This is the pre-show, so I would think they would be on this.
Just interesting. I wonder if there was a way to draw the TNA Plus.
Well, I believe if it's on TNA Plus, they'd be playing the same thing we'd be seeing here. It would just be displayed there.
Yeah, you're probably right.
It's good to see Kushida still staying in shape here. Looking good in the ring against Mike Bailey.
Now, something's going on here, Joe, because I'm reading here. Steve Maclin defeated Rich Swann in the first pre-show match.
Really?
Yeah. So.
Hard to kill countdown. Oh, am I not even watching? Fans, lucky you're here for the pre-show and you're seeing the confusion.
Well, we'll be ready for the live show.
Yeah, that's weird. It seems like there's just a countdown special. Oh, is it on YouTube? Did we get sued?
I looked at YouTube. I didn't see it there. That's what I was wondering about.
We haven't done many of these watch-alongs. We started with Survivor Series this year.
Yep.
And that was kind of an easy one to choose to do because we heavily felt that CM Punk was coming back. And compared to everybody else's reaction videos, were much more subdued. And yeah, you're not going to get big reactions out of us. You're going to get us kind of probably breaking down matches. You know, we might go a little crazy if something wild happens.
Yeah, this pre-show thing has got the better of me. I'm really curious. Like, what happened here?
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm not seeing it on TNA, not on YouTube. So we'll go back to this countdown and just watch what the fuck this is until it starts.
Oh, okay. So the pre-show will air at 7 p.m. exclusively on TNA Plus as well.
As well as where, though?
So it will be aired at 8 p.m. Fans can watch traditional cable satellite pay-per-view providers in the U.S. as well through the TNA Plus streaming service. The pre-show will air. So, like, if you can watch the pay-per-view on TNA Plus, you can also get the pre-show there. However, on Fight and other apps, you're going to get just the main show. The pre-show is like an added bonus if you have TNA Plus.
Okay, well that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine. But there's your mystery. So
yeah, you can see.
Tell us about it. That's cool. I'm enjoying this Tasha Alexander doing a rock match, though.
Yeah, if you're watching, like I've got it on the tablet, and you've got people asking the question on the side about the pre-show. Some are not happy with Fight TV for this. It's one of those things, and I guess you could kind of just chalk it up to TNA being TNA, that it wasn't clear exactly how to watch it, and everybody just assumed that it was going to be like any other pay-per-view that any other company puts out. And that's going to give people some apprehension, honestly. It's not going to hold a lot of people back from watching TNA, but it might hold a couple.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a hardcore fan, you probably already have, TNA Plus, and they're not missing anything. So good for them, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool to see these matches, but I'm not as invested because I was wondering, God, I think I got to update. I think I still got Impact Plus on my thing.
Yeah, I was just really surprised because when we started talking about it, I'm like, the timing of this, excuse me. The timing of this doesn't really make sense. That's why I was very confused.
Yeah, I was wondering, I'm like, how are they going to cram all these matches into a short amount of time?
No.
It's a strange idea for TNA, but it's almost like the Ring of Honor philosophy in a way. Go to our app to find it.
Yeah. So the pre-show matches, Steve Maclin defeated Rich Swann. Eddie Edwards and Brian Meyers defeated Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. So Tommy Dreamer and Crazy Steve is yet to come.
And that was the match that Tommy Dreamer was predicting. Like, he was saying he was going to take it to another level for it. He said it was going to be wild. So we'll see. I mean, we'll see on the app when we watch it. Never, probably. With us confused or upset with this. I mean, I could care less because it's a couple less matches we have to do, and it kind of gives us just a chance to fart around and talk for a minute.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just it's easier for us when like the WWE, does it on Peacock because we know everything that's coming up there. We haven't done an AEW one, but AEW's pretty easier too because you can see the pay-per-view and the pre-show usually together, or go right to YouTube. This is just unique in the sense that this is the first time where it was like you could get the pre-show only on the app.
Yeah, let me open up the app, see how easy it is to find the pre-show on short notice.
Well, there's only one more match and it's 15 minutes left, but yeah, if you're going to get it anyway. Right now, we're watching Trinity try to hang up this ladder, it looks like. Oh, not Trinity, Tasha Steelz, I'm sorry. Jordynne Grace. This looks like it was a Queen of the Mountain match at one point. I'm seeing Mia Yim was still with the company at this point.
Ooh, I am not signed into Impact Plus, so we will figure that out at a different time. Get back into fight here. Everybody watching at the moment, let us know in the comments what match you are excited for. We got 14 minutes, 52 seconds till this thing kicks off.
Yeah. Jordynne Grace. Yeah, I'm actually, this is kind of fun for me too because I don't watch a ton of TNA anymore. So I'm just excited to see some of these people.
Yeah, Grizzled Young Vets making their debut tonight.
Right.
I think even Dirty Dango and PCO is going to be a match.
Yeah, didn't, oh man, the former Vladimir Kozlov, he has a different name now, but he's in this too.
Yeah, he is in Dirty Dango's corner there.
Oh, Dirty Dango with Bravo over. Yeah, okay. Oleg Prudius? Oleg.
That's a group. Now, this is one of two big pay-per-views tonight. You got this and then Battle in the Valley starting at 10 o'clock Eastern time. It is a late night if you're watching if you're planning on keeping up with most of this wrestling or even some of this wrestling live.
Yeah, I mean, AEW's got Collision and Battle of the Belts tonight as well.
Yeah, that seems like an odd choice to put it up against all these events because like Battle of the Belts isn't pulling anybody in. It's sadly been one of those specials that we might have looked forward to when it first got mentioned, but it's been a know-nothing pay-per-view or special since then. Nothing of matter ever occurs. Collision, I am like a little upset to miss, but I could just watch the replay after this. FTR and Daniel Garcia versus House of Black is a good match. Taking a moment just to see who we got watching us on Instagram. We added that to the usual mix here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you know anybody that's a fan of Impact that is not watching with us tonight, tell them to get in on this.
Tell everybody, check on us. Oh, man. I'm sorry, Joseph. I am having issues over here in my throat. Give me a second.
Sicknesses have been hitting us all lately. My voice is barely hanging on. Dave and I did a little commentary today for New Heights Wrestling. And, you know, by the end of 3-4 matches, or even talking for any amount of time, my voice is going to be hurt. So anytime you see me or Dave dipping out of the broadcast, it could be a water break, bathroom break. You know, we may just need to save our voice for a couple minutes, blow the nose, clear the throat. But we are 11 minutes, 45 seconds till this starts. And the sponsorship that we got put along this, presented by Game Up Hard Hydration, this is a sponsorship we are trying to get. Look, I've tried Game Up, and it is a great, like, it's better than a seltzer because a seltzer is like that sparkling water with a hint of flavor. Game Up has a full flavor to it. It's low carb, low calorie, delicious. And we're showing them what they could get by working with us. So if you like what you're seeing here, subscribe to the YouTube channel or go out and buy up an 8-pack of Game Up. because most people watching us aren't subscribed. And Dave, I don't know if you know that, but it is amazing the amount of people that watch that don't click the button, that aren't up to date with what we do every time we put out a new video, which is almost daily. Oh, you're muted, brother.
Show us some love.
Yeah.
Like review all of it.
If you watch enough New Heights Wrestling, you're giggling in your seat right now.
It'll get you drunk. So I'm watching Moose stand over Josh Alexander. Looking back, I've enjoyed some of these look back on TNA Impact's moments here. Some of the stuff that's going on. I am very curious to see how this all ends up. Like for me, it's just like looking back at stuff that I haven't seen in a while. Right now, I believe we're looking at Alex Shelley and how
I'm watching the title screen, waiting for it to click on watch live.
We got 10 minutes here, right?
Yeah, we are rolling with the punches, though. That's the one thing about doing a live broadcast. You can get ready. You can take care of everything that you think you've covered, and then something will happen. And
so they're looking back. Go ahead.
Remember when we used to do it back in the day, Dave, and we'd have like a minor fuck up, and it would feel like the end of the world? Now it's like any little thing we can work through to some degree.
Yeah. So they're going back. Yeah, we're pros, Joe. We're pros. They're going back and they're looking at the title race for wins for both Moose and Alex Shelley. And I'm watching Alex Shelley beat Steve Maclin here. And what I have to say, one thing I like about TNA/Impact is, especially in the last couple of years, they don't always go in the direction you think they're going to go in. Like they were building up Steve Maclin at that time and thought, this is shoo-in. They won't put it on Alex Shelley. But they did put the title on Alex Shelley. And they've let him have this hell of a run. And Chris Sabin is back, doing the X Division. He's the X Division champ. And I think that's great that, these two, great tag wrestlers, one of the greatest tag teams in TNA history, are now holding two top singles titles.
Yeah, it's great to see. And Dave, some people out there might even call us working pros. I'm not going to dub us that because I don't think you can give yourself a nickname, but
the working pros. Yeah, so now they got in studio Alex Shelley and Moose, and it's interesting.
I gotta say, when you look at Moose, he looks like he could be a champion. He's got the size. I think he's learning the charisma. I remember in Ring of Honor, people weren't big fans of him, but he was also learning his craft. I think he's coming to his own in Impact, and I think he could be that top guy.
Here we go. Brian Carter in the comments. I'm watching TNA Impact tonight for the first time. I am a Hammerstone fan. Does anyone know if he signed a contract with them or is he just there for one night only for him? Right now, no one has talked about him signing a contract that I'm aware of, but boy, they definitely should, right? I mean, you're right. He looks like a star and he could carry this company.
Yeah, that's wild. That's cool that you're watching TNA Impact for the first time. Like TNA Impact, they have had dirt on their name, but if you watch, there is always something worth seeing in there. And for Hammerstone, to me, I bet this is some kind of tryout, and he could be the next big one they sign. Think if they signed Hammerstone and brought in Richard Holiday.
Hey, I mean, that would be an interesting play right there too, right? Hey, this again, fantasy booking, this is not going to happen. But how cool would it be? Everybody talks about MJF. What if MJF was there with Hammerstone and Richard Holiday? What a coup that would be.
That would be wild. And until the show starts, it's going to be a lot of speculation of what are the surprises going to be. And I'm interested to see what they can pull out because TNA has been one of those companies that every time somebody thinks they're dead, they bounce back, and they bounce back in interesting ways. Like when they went off of Spike TV and they were in the early, Global Force days.
Yes.
I liked when they would show different matches from different promotions around the world with their talent. And a full Dynasty reunion would be awesome. Get Gino Medina in there.
Yes. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that was some of the best stuff in the beginning with MLW, the Dynasty. And I thought, too, get to Hammerstone here for a second. He really grew in MLW and the Dynasty. Like, when he first started with that group, he was the muscle. But as time went on, he developed his own personality, his own humor, and he really became a star as time went on with MLW. And I think he could be a franchise player for a company like TNA Wrestling. But, is he signed? If he's not signed, and my guess is, he has a hell of a match tonight, but Josh Alexander would probably go over if he's not signed.
Yeah, Hammerstone's going to impress. If you haven't seen Hammerstone, he is built like a tank, and him versus Alexander, just on paper, looks like a matchup that could steal the show.
I wonder if we get a Matt Riddle tonight. I mean, Impact has a relationship with TNA Wrestling as well. I doubt that Matt is necessarily signed to MLW. He made an appearance. I know he's coming back, but maybe he's going to be a free agent, and he'll be in TNA too.
Who are you asking about?
Matt Riddle.
He's on the New Japan card. He is a mystery tag team partner, and he's on Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito.
That's right. So, okay, he wouldn't be available then. So,
no, I didn't even think Nick Nemeth would pop up because you got David Finlay on that card, and I feel like there could be possibly some kind of attack leading up to the February 3rd or 4th show. That's where Matt Riddle's going to take on Tanahashi, and Nick Nemeth is going to take on Finlay. I heard.
So, yeah, I would say they would probably be ruled out. I wasn't expecting Nick Nemeth anyway, but yeah. So, I mean, it's really hard to say. I know Ospreay is supposed to be on the TV taping they have coming up this weekend.
Yep. He's actually headlining the New Japan card with Okada.
Tonight?
Yep.
Interesting. He's on the TV taping tomorrow, so is Okada.
Yeah, so they're probably on the TV taping because I'm guessing they wouldn't make it here. I don't know exactly the distance between San Diego and Las Vegas. They might be able to pull something off, but I'm not expecting it.
No, I wouldn't, but that is interesting then. Yeah, that you will see those guys. That explains why they weren't able to do this. What a coup for Impact then, too. TNA, to get on it. Now I'm watching this. They're asking questions for Moose and Alex Shelley on this pre-show for Just Fight, Triller TV. And it's interesting some of the people they have here. Mark Ramundi from ESPN. It's kind of giving it like a legitimate feel. They have like real actual outlets here fielding questions for Shelley and Moose.
Nice. Well, Dave, we got about 2 minutes till this show starts. So I'm going to take us out of the broadcast so we can get a light break. I'm going to play some commercials. And then when we get back in, it'll be game time, brother.
Game time, baby. Game up.
Game time and game up, right?
Get you drunk.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.
Read about the Northern Wrestling Federation in the book presented by Russellville.com, The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 2. Hear the story of Roger Ruffin, the man who trained Carl Anderson, the Monster Abyss, Jordan Clearwater, Chris Harris, and Jillian Hall.
Plus 45 other short stories, including Jazz, Bobby Eaton, Kamala, Thunder Rosa, Mario Mancini, Scott Casey, PJ Black, Kerry Morton, Sal Renardo, Jeremiah Plunkett, Colby Carino, Bam Bam Malone, and many others.
Get your book today at Russellville.com. Russellville. It's where wrestling lives.
Welcome to Magazine Mania, a wrestling magazine podcast. In this video, I am going to introduce the podcast by covering the 5 W's, though not in the traditional order. Each week on this podcast, I am going to go through a wrestling magazine, and I'm going to look at the articles featured on the cover. Be sure to pay attention to our other social medias for other articles throughout the magazine. I am creating this podcast because I am such a fan of wrestling magazines, and as technology advances, we are seeing fewer in the print form on magazine racks, and I really miss that. I am producer Joe. You may know me from the Working Fans podcast, and each week I'm gonna have to cut myself off because we are going live.
Woo.
Now, fans, before the show starts, remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know anytime we go live. We're still getting used to watch, so this isn't going to be our bread and butter yet.
Well, hey, I'm here with you, Joe. Getting ready to watch the pay-per-view live.
And if you're here watching, let us know in the comments. Where are you watching from? Randy Osga, where you at?
Yeah, FBI warning right now, baby. That's what I'm watching. 5 years in prison. Don't fuck around.
Thank God we did it the legal way.
Paid.
I'm excited. I'm kind of like on the edge of my seat now.
Let's see. Oh,
One
okay.
thing they're always good as their video production.
Yeah.
You think many people look at Matt Raywalt and wonder when Claudio Castagnoli got sick? I say that joking around because Matt Raywalt has really come into his own as an announcer, and him and the Tom Hannafin team, I think, are really good.
Yeah. No doubt.
Now that we do a little bit of commentary, I'm always watching like certain teams and kind of evaluating like what makes me like them. We might even have a special guest later on tonight. You're going to have to stay tuned to find out who, though.
The man they call
The Undertaker.
We shall see.
Yeah, Dave, I kind of like the watch-alongs because I feel like, I don't know, I at least take the regular episodes very seriously, and like I want to put out a good show. But I feel like some of the fun of the watch along is just watching, reacting, and being able to talk about it. Like, we were watching live, we'd probably be much quieter about it. I know at least I would be, because I tend to take in the show. But obviously, you do a live watch along, you kind of want to be a little bit entertaining. I like this intro a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, so far, good intro. You know, seeing all their top stars. It's quite an interesting roster they have. I see Eric Young, Rich Swann,
Steve Maclin. You got to wonder, could Steve Maclin leave now that his wife has left?
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know his contract status, obviously, either. They've been announcing a lot of people they re-signed. They haven't re-signed Steve Maclin, or at least they haven't announced it.
We're going to try a little something. My
iPad a little darkness here.
And here tonight.
Eric Young's coming out here, right?
Wouldn't be the Working Fans podcast if we didn't have some wine.
So is Eric Young kind of leading the new TNA here? So Joe's out for a bit. So yeah, like right now we're watching Eric Young. Of course, I have my captions on, so I'm trying to see here. We got all the wrestlers in the back. Just feels like a rally with Eric Young kind of being the guy who's rallying the troops here. Interesting. I guess he's kind of Mr. TNA. I don't know. Like when you think of TNA wrestling, who do you think of? At least as far as guys that are currently still there, I think Eric Young's got to be it, right? Sometimes you think of AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, but they moved on. So, yeah.
I think Eric Young was one of the more surprising ones to see end up in WWE. And I think he was so criminally misused there because he has always been such a solid piece of TNA.
Well, he was very vocal that his problems in WWE were Vince. And it was interesting because, he got back in, Vince got back in, and then he left, and now Vince is back out. So I feel like timing has just been the issue with that. I see Tasha Steelz.
This is going to be a very interesting match. There haven't been many women's Ultimate X matches, and I have a feeling that, with the TNA return, I think this roster is going to want to make a statement tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt.
I think I might have my Wi-Fi issues settled, Dave.
Hey, man. Big night for everybody here. What we got here?
I want to let everyone know that we will be doing the big pay-per-views as Dave's reading in the text messages because, with the sponsorship, we talked about doing, let's back up. When we did the Survivor Series, we got such a good response that we're like, let's do all the big pay-per-views.
Right.
But I was so excited by this card that I was ready to do it by myself. And I don't know if anybody out there knows how fucking boring that would be. Dave abandoned his family like a man and joined his buddy.
They're gonna be all right.
And we're just so excited by this card. There may even be a special review show on Battle in the Valley. I don't even know. We'll see how early I get out of work.
I will not be involved for that one, but I have to make up family time somewhere. But tonight,
that's going to be a quick review.
It's TNA.
But Royal Rumble, we will definitely be here. Mania's a maybe because we might get together with buddies for that. And nobody wants to podcast while people are hanging out.
Hey.
I could see SummerSlam happening, Survivor Series again, all in, all out.
Just let me know. I might just damn well do Mania. I'm ready. Night 1, night 2. Bring it on, baby.
We'll see. We're still trying to get this podcast bigger. This is, 5.5 years in going now?
Yeah.
And we've just started doing the watch-alongs. I know personally for me, it's just a long recording to commit to, and there's going to be a lot of dead air, and that's something as a producer that I hate, but I'm trying to learn to get used to it. Who does your favorite watch-alongs? Like when you watch a watch-along, who do you go to?
Jody
Threat. They work at Ben's podcast.
Dani Luna.
Oh, man, is this when you got Shotzi Blackheart at home? Xia Brookside, interesting one. Daughter of Robbie Brookside, somebody that William Regal talks highly of.
Yeah, she was part of that UK NXT UK brand for a little while too.
Yes. Now, guys, we got a few people watching. Drop some comments here. Let's get a discussion going about this show. Because it's not just me and Dave talking. We're talking with you guys. We want to know what you're excited for. Plus, it tickles the algorithm a little bit.
Yeah. Say hi.
fans. Let us know in the comments. What's your favorite flavor of Game Up?
Yeah. How do you like to get drunk?
I got my fourth favorite flavor right here.
Just checking out this crowd here. I see some of those TNA shirts out there in the front row.
Yeah, I like how the whole crowd is really united behind this TNA rebranding. You see a lot of people with those towels hanging up. They were swinging them over their heads before the show started. I like the look of this arena, I got to say. I don't know if I've seen this arena before.
They're at the Palms, I believe.
Yes.
Palms Casino Resort in Nevada. Yeah, that's interesting. That's an old
who do you
UFC
see
stop.
winning this match?
That's interesting. I don't know. I'd like to see Xia Brookside maybe win it.
I would like to see Xia Brookside, but I feel like this is going to be made for Gisele Shaw. And then possibly, who knows if she challenges Jordynne Grace, spoiler alert for who I think's winning later tonight, or it could be down the road. We got to see. I feel like they're going to do some kind of surprise with that to really get the audience and get some news behind this. Tasha Steelz is always amazing in the ring.
So there you have it, Randy. Joe's picking Gisele Shaw, and I'm picking. I'm going to go Xia Brookside for an upset. Why not? I really don't know who. I think I'm actually leaning towards Tasha Steelz if I had to put my money on it.
Oh, Tasha Steelz would be amazing. She is somebody we've seen for a few years now between like AEW and Impact, and she really stands out. Ooh, big boot to the face.
Yeah. How many times has Grace won the title?
I'll tell you who's not a fan of that boot to the face is Rick Steiner.
No, he's not.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I want to say 2 or 3. Let's look it up on Cage Match on the phone, Randy.
Yeah.
We're here live. It doesn't matter if we're distracted.
Jody
Dave's
Threat and Dani Luna, as Joe likes to call her, Sachi Blackheart Light.
Cage Match.
Oh. Jody Threat got him stacked up. Alisha Edwards about to go for a ride. Jody Threat, man. This is my first time getting to really watch her. She's doing fantastic. Oh, and here's Dani Luna with a big catch. Fall away slam. Yeah, I tell you, I'm a fan of these girls right now. TNA Wrestling. The knockouts showing up.
Jordynne Grace is a 2-time knockouts champion.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be 3 after.
I think you're right. I think Trinity might be on the way out, though.
That's the discussion I've heard as well.
Jody Threat, man, exploding suplexes. She's on fire. Oh, look out, Xia Brookside. I think I see her climbing.
Oh.
Perched up. Oh.
I can't wait till we get AJ in here and he loses his mind over the delay. Anybody who watched our CM Punk reactions, that might have been one of the funniest things.
Yeah. Oh, Jody Threat.
Oh.
Who just dove for you, Joe?
Whoever this redheaded girl is.
Okay, we're on the same page then. Okay. Yeah, we're actually right on the time. For some reason, I think Joe was a little ahead of me during the countdown show, but we're spot on.
Oh, I've had issues. I've been popping out. I've had to get on the Wi-Fi, get off the Wi-Fi.
That might be why we're caught up. Oh, wow. Look at this. Edwards on Threat's back here while Jody Threat continues to climb up the structure. She's hitting those elbows. Definitely dangerous.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
Geez.
Thank goodness they were there. Oh, Steelz and Threat.
Do you like the yellow? I really don't mind them. It gives the ring a different look, and I kind of like how TNA is just resetting their whole aesthetic here.
Yeah, I'm all for whatever separates you, right? So to me, Randy, you said it in the comments too, this place looks cool. And I think that part of that is the ring, the set. I just feel like it's kind of a total different atmosphere right now. And I'm really digging the vibe of just the overall look of this pay-per-view.
It's wild. I didn't think I'd care much for this match. And
they're doing great.
This match is a really good starting point.
Yeah, no, they're busting their ass, and this is definitely a fun match to start off with. Woo. So Steelz and Edwards in the corner. Jody Threat.
You watched TNA in the beginning. Did they start off with yellow ropes in 2002?
I don't recall. I did watch in the beginning when it was the weekly pay-per-views. I don't remember. That might be accurate, though.
I would have to go back and watch some old, because I've got a Best of AJ Styles DVD, so I'm sure they would have some old stuff in there. Yeah, it's wild.
Pay-per-views. It's just the people that would show up. Vader showed up in the early days for an appearance or two. Nikita Koloff showed up once. Dusty, look at this. Dani Luna dropping Jody Threat, Tasha Steelz, and Edwards all down.
Tony Schiavone showed up on a pay-per-view as well.
He did. That was heel Schiavone. Gisele Shaw and Brookside on the other side here. Here comes Dani Luna, though. Oh, look at Brookside. What are we setting up here? Power bomb.
Xia Brookside, though.
Right, climbing. Oh, Dani.
One of the wilder parts of the Ultimate X is you not only have to climb to the top of those trusses, but then climb across that rope to try and grab that X in the middle. I would not be good at this. I would just give up.
Luna spiked Brookside, and she was going to top of Threat immediately. And I have to say, Joe, two girls that are really impressed me tonight that I hadn't seen a lot of. So dumb on me for not seeing a lot of them before, but Threat and Dani Luna, Jody Threat and Dani Luna are really surprising me with the way they work here. Very snug. I like it.
Yeah, throwing those forearms right upside either's face.
Yeah, right. That's what we were talking about at the beginning here. Yeah, nothing really seems to ever happen at these Battle of the Belt shows. So, hey, watch it, bite us in the ass, and it'll be like something huge tonight. But I don't know. We can always watch it tomorrow is the way I look at it, too. DVR is there for a reason.
Yeah, and not only that, but Battle of the Valley, too. So, why wouldn't you put something better on Battle of the Belts to combat all this other wrestling that is out there?
Dani Luna again catches somebody. This time Edwards. And oh no, Edwards turns into a DDT.
That might be the best thing I've ever seen out of Alisha Edwards there.
No doubt. She's putting it together. Hey, all the women are looking great here tonight. All of them busting their ass. Like I said, for me, Threat and Luna, though, have been a real welcome surprise. I was not aware of. I had not seen them. Oh, Edwards got the kendo stick here. Oh, looks like Tasha Steelz going to be the one to get it. Oh!
In the backside, though.
Look out, Edwards. I'm going Brookside. Boom.
One for Dani Luna. One for Jody Threat.
One for Gisele Shaw. Everybody's getting one. You got a kendo stick shot. You got a kendo stick shot.
Gisele Shaw gets the stick. Oh, code
breaker. Brookside with that code breaker. Oh, stiff kick again by Gisele Shaw. Oh, but eats a big lariat play. Oh, for sure. Edwards with a flatliner, too. Edwards has really looked good in this match from matches I've seen her in the past.
Yeah, Randy doesn't think Jericho and Sammy are winning the tag titles. You'd like to hope not with the Jericho kind of thing going on.
Whoa, look at Threat.
Just when you don't expect it.
Brookside and Edwards on the shoulders of Threat.
Oh, big move.
Jody.
I couldn't imagine a better match to start this off with. I was expecting the 4-way tag match because I figured that would give you that like high motion spectacle. But these ladies are really bringing it, and they're showing why the knockouts division should be more respected. Because when you think of big ladies divisions, the knockouts division does get mentioned, but I don't hear them getting mentioned as much as like Sasha, Charlotte, Bailey, all the ladies in WWE. Randy, thank you for staying live in the comments. Anybody else watching, get in those comments. Let's get this conversation going. This is why we like Randy. Every time he jumps in and watches with us, he throws us questions to talk about. He gets a conversation going. And that's what makes watch-alongs like this fun. It was weird when they played. Let me put this on the screen. It was weird when they played that theme during Jericho's whole attack, but they didn't handle things the right way when they should have. So they're trying to find ways to combat that booing now.
All right. All these women continue to kill it. I had to step out for a minute and handle wrestling business. That's my business. Don't you worry about it, people. All right. I'm going to blade. We're not going to show it live. All right. So looks like we're down to 3 here. We got Dani Luna, Tasha Steelz, and who else is over there? Gisele Shaw. Okay.
Yeah.
All 3 climbing. God, I'll tell you right now, the way this is going, I would not be upset to see Dani Luna or Jody Threat win this. Dani Luna looks like she's having the most trouble climbing this up here, though. Shaw and Steelz legit almost at the middle over here. And by the way, no criticism. I would not want to be the one to climb this. I think there was a story where Homicide had a real difficulty trying to do this one time. They had him Threat falls.
I think that story with Homicide was they were supposed to climb up and out of the dome of a cave.
Right. Look at this. Gisele Shaw. Joseph.
I'm not gonna brag that I'm 1-0 with picks, but
you're 1-0 with picks.
Shaw wins.
Yeah.
Yes, New Jack was the one that they played his theme the whole time in ECW.
For sure. For sure. Now there's this one of those situations too where whenever Gisele Shaw, she gets a big win and people are going to talk about, she has a relationship with the boss.
That's one of the things they might bring up, yes.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few other things too.
And honestly, that went into a little bit of me picking her as winning this because, I have heard that she has been making waves in Impact.
Yeah.
But also knowing the relationship, it's kind of hard not to think that might happen.
Well, hey, regardless, you can't deny she had a great performance. All the women did. So good on them. That was a hell of a match to kick off this show. What we got here? 2024.
Okay. Just a commercial. Very good commercial there.
Okay.
There's another thing I'm looking forward to that we did not bring up, and that is DJ Who Kid and AJ Francis debuting a rap video.
AJ Francis, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe he was formerly known as Top Dollar.
Yeah, Hawaiian dude.
Oh, Daddy was not. No one thought that. What we got here? Handsome JF and
Okay, I believe that's the French announce team.
Yeah.
Yeah, you heard him. If you want to click those comments up on the top, I'm just waiting to click the next banner for the next match. It looks like, they got me. I don't know if that's the big TNA signing. It almost seems like they're a partner with TNA. I was waiting for it to be possibly some kind of new promo for I was thinking Mason Mansoor.
That's a match I'm looking forward to. ABC, the Rascalz, the Vets, Bailey and the
match of the night.
Trinity and Jordynne Grace. Alex Shelley and Moose. Yes, good card. Strap in, baby. We're gonna have some fun here. I'm curious to see what we get next here. What would you want to do next? Maybe PCO, bring a little violence.
PCO would be good because you're gonna come out of that into that 4-way tag match.
Yeah, so that would be Oh. So we got AJ Francis here.
Oh, we missed this. Was this during the pre-show?
Yeah, I guess so.
New Kid.
They attacked Joe Henry.
New Kid fan, used to listen to his mixtapes, listened to G Unit Radio when I had Sirius back in the day.
But they're attacking Joe Henry too. Oh,
yeah, another musical guy.
Joe Henry got spiked with a choke slam. He has some Cheez-Its there for some reason. Looks like DJ who could get in the footage.
AJ Francis definitely looking like he dropped some weight. Not looking bad in the ring.
No, he's a guy that's not afraid to talk too. So,
okay, we're kind of hearing who kidding AJ Francis backstage. Okay, they fixed the volume about halfway through this promo. Are we going to see this video?
I was hoping we get a Joe Henry video.
Joe Henry is always a good video, but the match we are getting next.
Dirty Dango.
Dirty Dango. I think Dango is one of those guys that, we didn't see enough of him in WWE. And the gimmick was such like a play around that, now he looks serious. And you see him come out and he is a sizable gentleman.
Yeah. I mean, he's in great shape. He's kind of been, I think, playing off those bitter veterans too. That's interesting. Johnny Bravo. And Oleg here, the former Vladimir Kozlov, he looks like a killer still too.
Yeah, and I mean, this makes Dirty Dango that much more dangerous when you have these guys behind him.
Yep, you got the distraction, you got the heater. He's a cool guy. I met him at a bar during WrestleMania weekend years ago. Yeah, that's great. Nice to hear that he's approachable. Dango telling everybody to shut up.
Yeah, he's got a good arrogant persona on stage, but I imagine sometimes the nicest people turn out to be, some of the more interesting wrestlers, because that's where they can put in those wild parts of their personality.
Yeah, PCO. Here's a guy that's been around forever, huh?
Yeah, and he was good when he was first out, but I think he is 10 times better now, just for what he's shown us since coming back a couple years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago now, at Janela's Spring Break. I love this modern-day Frankenstein. I love this black and white. This intro is awesome.
This is wild. This is wild. Yeah, I mean, when you talk about a guy that's been around forever, he was part of a tag team with Jacques Rougeau called the Quebecers. And, they were tag team champions in then WWF back in the day. And here he is now. Still going strong. Look at the shape he's in. It's crazy. I mean, the bumps he takes. Scary, scary, scary individual.
Yeah, like when you have a wrestling show, you want that kind of pageantry, that kind of over the topness. And this guy gives you that great intro. Thank you to everybody watching us. We got people watching us on Instagram, people on YouTube. People might even be finding us on Facebook. But no matter where you're watching us, hit subscribe, hit like, share it. Because even if a couple people on your timeline might not like it, there's going to be one person that's like, there's a TNA pay-per-view tonight. Let's check this out.
Yeah. And hopefully we can tell them about it.
Than Dave and myself.
Yeah, we'll tell you about it. And maybe you're going to be like, damn, I'm going to check that out. Or maybe you're going to be like, oh, nope, that sucks.
Yeah, we might say some mildly dirty stuff, but nothing that's going to get us kicked off the YouTubes.
PCO looks great. Got to agree, Randy. Phenomenal condition.
And it's wild because look how Dango is just about the same height, like maybe taller than PCO.
PCO comes out with that clothesline. Got the Grizzle. I think we saw PCO on an independent show versus MJF. How wild is that to think about?
That's crazy now that I couldn't even imagine those two together. I went to a big time wrestling show, saw PCO take on Penta. It was an amazing match.
I know a few years ago, I don't know if it was a spring break or not, but he took on Gunther, now then known as Walter.
Yeah, I believe that was spring break too. And Scott and friend of the show, Scott and myself were there.
Yeah. PCO. There is an NWA show tonight.
NWA Paranoia show down in Florida. We know some people that could possibly be on that. They're also doing a show with Coastal Championship Wrestling. NWA is doing a lot of really interesting stuff now. Tommy Dreamer's match happened on the pre-show, and that is something you can see on TNA Plus. So if you missed it in the beginning, the 3 pre-show matches, we thought it was going to be available on Fight, but it ended up just being something that was on, it's TNA Plus now. I was thinking Impact Plus.
Yes.
But Debbie,
if you
chiming in.
Yeah.
As much as we enjoy talking to Randy, we love talking to everybody. Let's get the conversation going, guys. Rhino coming out.
Whoa. Yeah, and if you want to know the results of that, Debbie, we can tell you too. So I looked that up already, but I'll hold on. I won't spoil that since it was on the pre-show, and if anyone wants to check it out.
Yeah, but if you want the results, let us know, Debbie. Dave will spoil it all day if you want it.
What else do I got to do? We're here. We're watching TNA. We'll be happy to let you know what happened. I'll save you that Google search. So.
See, Dave's a good friend. I didn't have shit going on, so I was going to be sitting here doing this either way. We already said, Dave told the family, I'm watching TNA tonight.
Yes.
Wrestling.
Yes. Yes, that is the TNA I'm watching tonight. And we got Santino Marella out here now. I think if I had to guess, knowing pro wrestler like I do, he's about to make this a tag team match player.
I didn't even know they were letting him use that name. I thought he was still going by Anthony Corelli.
No. He copyrighted that copyright had expired, and he's got it. He's Santino Marella, excuse me.
That was a smart move.
Yeah. Oh, 3-on-3? Yeah, I guess you could do. I was thinking Bravo as a non-factor. Oh, looks like Rhino and PCO got a partner, and it's Jake something.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is the guy that has been making appearances in Impact, and he is stacked.
He's stacked. Yeah, he was on a few AEW Dark matches too. Never got signed, but
big dive there.
Looks like the former Kozlov. Oh, he gets sent out to the ropes.
You know, I was all right with PCO versus Dango, but I like the way they changed this matchup. It kept it fresh. It makes it feel new.
Look! Oh my God! I don't know if I'm a little bit ahead of you now, but PCO.
Oh, PCO's climbing those turnbuckles, so I can only imagine right now.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looked a little rough.
He looks so dangerous. Rhino's got Bravo in the corner. Yeah, Randy, you are right. PCO is crazy. I just can't believe he's still going.
Think about the physical conditioning that must take to be his age and still do things like that.
Yeah, I don't know if he gets the credit he deserves sometimes. Uh-oh. Jesus Christ.
It's funny. I'm watching it about to happen now. Oh!
Yeah.
That's such an amazing move right on the edge of the apron there.
Yeah, it's amazing he doesn't hurt himself or hurt Dango, which just shows you what a skilled wrestler he is. PCO with a big dive.
Doing it now, 20-30? No, 30 plus, 40 almost.
Yeah, I mean, he was in the 90s. Him and Jacques Rougeau were, I want to say, tag champions in 93.
Oh, wow. So, yeah, it's even more. And just to think about that, to keep going, that I wonder how many good years he still has in him with this style.
It's amazing he's still doing it now. So.
Big lariat there.
Right. Oh. Jake something. Now, he's a guy I feel like that could be a star if they want to get behind him.
Yeah, I'm surprised that WWE hasn't tried going after him at some time yet.
Yeah, Rhino now. Here's another guy that's been around forever.
Yeah, in those old ECW days.
Yeah. You know, I want to say I remember Rhino going back to I'm sure he started before this, but like I think he was on my radar around 95. You know, I started watching ECW, you know, as the man beast, taking people out, and then eventually winning that ECW TV title from Rob Van Dam. And then, he closed company as the world champion.
Kozlov hitting Rhino there.
I believe Van Dam actually broke his leg, and then Rhino might have been rewarded, or whatever the case would be. But yeah. There we see Dango and Oleg and Bravo all working over Rhino. Interesting that here's our second match here, so that makes me think that maybe we're gonna get that fatal four-way tag match after this, huh?
Yeah, it's gonna be something high energy. I mean, I wouldn't even be Alexander. Maybe that it feels like the tag match because I'm looking and I'm like, maybe Alexander and Hammerstone, maybe the X Division match.
Hey, who you picking in this one?
This one, who did I have written down? I had PCO written down, so I'm gonna go with the team of PCO, Rhino,
Jake something
over there.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to see if we could even this up a little bit tonight, but I'm not gonna disagree with you here because I don't think we brought Jake something out for nothing. So my guess is they're gonna get the win too. And I know PCO re-signed with TNA.
Yeah.
They actually made a statement about that. So.
Yeah, that was like just after the new year.
Yeah. He was like one of the first guys to announce, maybe the first guy.
He is a solid character, and he can give you those big entrances on the pay-per-views like we saw tonight.
Big entrances, will work his ass off, will do crazy things a lot of people aren't willing to do. And he's a veteran. Like, yeah, he's definitely a guy you like to have on your roster. And here's PCO now. Randy wishes TNA was still on Twitch. Yeah, interested in not doing that now.
Yeah, it's kind of like with ROH being on just the ROH app. If you would put it out there where more people can see it, it gives them more access instead of having somebody have to go to your app or have to go find Access TV.
You know, like the former Kozlov staring off with Rhino. Boy, Orley kind of has a little bit of a Batista look to him these days.
Yes.
Did you know that Kozlov was actually one of those guys behind the scenes they said that was considered to take the streak from Undertaker?
Really?
It never got serious, I don't think, but it was brought up.
I mean, seeing his size, it's not surprising.
I think that's what it was, yeah.
Randy used to watch the weekly shows on Twitch.
Yeah. Hey, it's a good platform, you know, getting on streaming and stuff like that, you know. It's the way it should be. I mean, there is talk that WWE Raw might be going to Amazon.
Yeah, we're currently playing on Twitch. We're on Instagram right now. You could be on Twitter watching us, YouTube, wherever you are. Just click follow, click subscribe, notifications, hit all of it.
PCO.
Watch the pay-per-view. Where are we going?
PCO. Oh, he comes down with a headbutt moonsault on Johnny Bravo. Joe, I might be a little ahead of you, but just spoiler alert, this match is over. PCO, Jake something.
Hell yeah, 2 right picks so far tonight.
That's right, Randy. We're streaming everywhere, baby. We're doing some big things. We'll step out for a second here, Joseph.
Yeah, we're trying to get bigger in 2024. We're trying to get better about, getting sponsorships, getting more people to subscribe, doing live watch-alongs. I personally have never been the biggest fan of watch-alongs because you have little technology things that get in the way. And then it's like you got to find time to try and get 3 different people to sit in front of the TV and be able to be on the computer. But we're just happy to connect with people more. Is this another new debut here? Okay, this is interesting. Let us know in the comments who you think this surprise is here. AJ Strange Brew is out with his daughter tonight. Possibly may pop in later, but no promises. This is something I only brought up to the guys as a possibility yesterday because I knew I wouldn't be doing much tonight. So I figured if the weather outside is going to be frightful, why not make it delightful inside and sit down and do a bit of a watch along.
So
getting an MK Ultra match. This was not on the card. I do not have a graphic for this.
So it was interesting too. We saw that person. I heard you speculating there too about could it be a new signing, and all we really got was a blonde hair, right?
Yep, blonde hair, medium-sized being.
Could that Taya Valkyrie? Thoughts on new ring announcer? I haven't got a chance to really hear, so I don't know how she sounds, to be honest.
Not bad. Matt Raywalt saying what I was thinking.
Hey, happy Saturday, Sean. Yeah, we decided to do a TNA watch along here tonight. Last minute, man. Don't know if you're going to get to watch TNA, but that's what we're up to.
Yeah, how was your New Year's, Sassman? Could it
Dana
be Dana
Brooke.
Brooke? Interesting.
That's right, Randy. Yeah. That is one of the people that's been absent from TV. So,
Are we getting a debut coming at these tag titles? Or are we going to continue the Courtney Rush and what is it, Jessica Havoc team?
we'll find out. See the
New
lights
Year's
go out.
was, New Year's is always a good time. It was good to finally be able to relax since Christmas was so busy for us work-wise. Definitely excited for another year of wrestling. And that's why we're trying to grow this even bigger, do bigger things with the podcast, because I think 2024 is going to be a good year. Oh, Decay.
Yeah.
So we're getting the return of Rosemary, getting rid of the Courtney Rush character.
So Rosemary's here, and was Havoc there as well? Yep, she is.
So,
Yeah.
all right, I am into this match.
So
This is a nice surprise here.
no, so much for Party Jessica.
I mean, I didn't mind the other personas, but I like the Decay so much more.
It actually kind of works, especially when you're going back to TNA, right?
Yes.
Sammy Callahan. I wonder if he could be a guy that possibly pops up here tonight too.
That's a good question. Didn't
He popped up in MLW.
Right.
Yeah, he's been involved in MLW and Impact in the past, so he's a guy I could see. Interesting. See the return of Havoc. I thought him and Havoc were an item too behind the scenes. Well, Havoc's starting off.
This is kind of surprising because I don't know if this card necessarily needed an extra match, but now it has just as many matches as Battle in the Valley. I'm interested by this Mummy Murders movie that they're promoting in the ring. I might have to go find that on streaming.
Rosemary's been around for a while now.
Yeah. And
Where? First time you seen her? TNA?
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen her much outside of TNA. It's been, what, maybe a year since she's been there as Rosemary?
Right.
Now, anybody watching, is this a tag team championship match or is this just a surprise tag team match? We're missing little details like that by not having the audio all the way up, as well as just talking through most of it. But we're trying to make it interesting for you.
Oh,
double stomp to that midsection there.
so Masa Slamovich, Killer Kelly. Looks like Kelly slamming Masa Slamovich on Rosemary.
Now, Sass, are you watching Impact Live or are you just watching the watch along with us? Because we'll try and give you a little more play-by-play if you're not actually seeing this live. It's weird. We've always tried to find out how to mix the watch-alongs. Do you try and do an alternate commentary track, or do you just kind of comment on the event as a whole? Randy, that makes sense that it is... I think that it should be for the titles.
Yes, it's on Fight TV or Triller, as it's now known. Also, TNA Plus has it too, right?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, any traditional pay-per-view.
Oh, big boot to Rosemary's jaw there. It's interesting to see so many people interested in this pay-per-view because I was wondering what the level of interest was going to be for this.
I think just the rebranding of TNA, people are curious the way they did it, you know, where they announced this, back in October, November, you know, and then we had still Impact on there. And, you know, it was all this build towards January. So I think it was the right way to do it.
Yeah, it's that level of anticipation, getting people excited for the return. And a lot more people were open to it than I expected. You know, because a lot of the times you hear TNA, you just remember, like, all the times that TNA let you down in the past.
For sure.
But then, I mean, there's a younger generation that grew up on TNA. And then there's a lot of people like Randy here being intrigued by TNA being brought back. Because there's got to be some worth to the name if they're going back to it.
I think Scott D'Amore said, like, they never really stopped chanting TNA. It always was so synonymous with the brand, you know? Oh, no. Counter. Thought we were about to get a double choke slam. Havoc with a big double clothesline on both competitors.
Havoc is such an imposing figure in the ring there.
Yes. She's got Kelly and Masha. Suplexes them both. Yeah, Havoc is definitely a sight. Yeah, you know, it's very impressive.
Yeah, real powerhouse of a wrestler that doesn't get brought up a ton when you hear about women's wrestling. Randy, big fan of the ref here.
Rosemary. It looks like Killer Kelly. Break it down.
It's always good to have a ref in there that can keep the match, you know, not be too involved in the match, but really hold it down, be that excellent at point fifth person in the ring.
Slamovich. Slamming Jessica Head, but not enough.
Yeah, this is a really good match for being a surprise match, too.
Yeah, I wrote a match. I'm enjoying it, Randy. They're tearing it down.
So, Randy, what do you think is going to be match of the night? And Sass, we're wondering from you as well. What do you think is going to be the best match when this whole thing is over?
If Sass is able to order it.
He could give us like what he expects to be, and then we'll let him know what really won it.
Oh!
He's taking care of business in that ring.
Got it. And I guess we're going to know shortly if this was for the titles. But Rosemary and Havoc.
That is the match that I'm most interested in how it's going to play out, because Hammerstone is such a powerhouse, and going up against Alexander is going to be great. For me, match of the night, I think, has to be that four-way tag match.
And we got new champs. So, what a spectacle. Havoc, Rosemary, new champs.
I wonder how many new champs we're going to get overall on the show.
Well, I mean, I think we're right. I think Trinity was definitely, we're guessing she's supposed to leave, so that would make Jordynne Grace would be another one.
Sorry, fans. I'm going to be yawning a lot during this. I did not take a nap today, and I was up late getting wrestling notes together for our commentary today, so we would be dragging ass if we didn't have our shot of W. Go to W.GG, use code FANSWORKING, 10% off.
I don't know. Looks like this is one of their big sponsored. Right here, they're connected with the NFL alumni, huh?
This
So
is
sad.
really cool. This is showing like how TNA is trying to expand their brand and really try and like get out from under that old umbrella. So Sass, what match are you looking forward to? We got to know, brother.
Let us know in the comments.
And that's great that they're talking about mental health too, because not only among men, but especially like in the wrestling community, I don't know if you're going to hear a ton about it unless you're around super self-aware people. Okay, they're showing the match that we missed earlier, Steve Maclin and Rich Swann. This one I was interested in because these are both good wrestlers. I'm not aware of the story they had going into it, but I knew it would be a good match. Maclin is a beast. Former Marine and just great in the ring. You can see the intensity, real smooth. Talking to Steve Maclin backstage. Thank you, everybody, for taking the time. Alex Shelley and Moose, that's going to be an interesting main event. But thank you, everybody, for taking your time out to watch this with us on a Saturday night. Because you could be doing anything, but instead you're watching a great pay-per-view. You're hearing some schmucks make some comments, and we're all having fun.
Fans.
Sass got to us in the comments. Looking forward to Alex Shelley and Moose. That's going to be a very interesting main event.
Big Tell Scott Demore coming out here. What's this going to be about, huh? Maybe a big announcement. Randy, we appreciate that. We appreciate you supporting us. You're a day one, no doubt, brother. Scott Demore. Let's see what he's got here.
And Sass has brought that dedication for somebody that's just started watching us lately, and always great getting in the comments.
I think it's just fun to talk about wrestling sometimes, right, guys? I mean, we don't, we're still a small fraternity in some ways.
Yeah, and when you watch the week-to-week live show, it's almost like we're talking at you. But now it's like an active discussion where we're all watching the same thing, all talking about the same thing.
So this is Dorian Pena from AAA. They're talking about Huddle for Health, I believe, but also AAA involvement. Talking about a AAA partnership, that kind of does make me wonder, is Hijo del Vikingo, does he become now a potential favorite tonight in that match with Chris Sabin and Kushida?
I'm going to be honest. Yes, that changes. I'm still going to go with Kushida as a pick because I don't want to change it at the last moment. But now knowing there's a partnership, I think it makes it much more likely. And could we see less of Vikingo in AEW now?
I don't know. I personally, yes, it is really good to talk to you. Going back to that Northeast Wrestling event and, on the Survivor Series watch along.
We got to do more events because we don't think about the connections you make when you see people in public. Like, it's hard to coordinate all our schedules to get all of us into the same place at the same time. But whenever we do, we have a blast and we make new fans and friends every time.
And Randy, I do wonder if Conan is there.
We've seen a lot of Black Taurus come in.
Yeah, I mean, this is one thing TNA has done a really good job of is, just kind of working with other companies. when you think about it, they had Mickie James show up in the Royal Rumble a few years ago. They have stars from New Japan constantly showing up. Stars that have been on AEW, AAA. So this is constantly people working with each other. The single page contract. Yes. Yeah, wrestler. We got the pro wrestling to make it short and simple, huh?
And TNA has always been really good about partnering with companies outside of the U.S. Like I said a couple of years ago when they partnered with Noah and they would show Eddie Edwards in a Japanese ring, or they would show matches from Mexico, and you get to see those other wrestling climates.
Here comes Vikingo. I'm going to pick him. I'm going to go Vikingo. Chris Sabin. You really can't go wrong here. Yeah, I think Vikingo will pull this off, given the relationship. But, man, I don't know. There's a lot of good talent in here, right? I mean, Kushida. If any of these guys win, they're all great.
And think about it. You got 3 distinctive styles from 3 continents. You got Lucha Libre. You've got that Japanese style, which some Japanese, especially the high flyers, the cruiserweights, they tend to almost like get into that Lucha Libre area. And then you got Chris Sabin, who could do it all. Great high flyer.
Yeah, Sabin, an all-time TNA favorite, as Sasses point out, and I would have to agree. I think, though, it's funny as we talk about this, though, I think about the story, right? And maybe Sabin loses the title here, and maybe his partner, Alex Shelley, loses the title to Moose. Well, that'll free them up to maybe go after the tag titles again, though.
Yeah, and I got to throw it out there because I got to agree, Chris Sabin, all-time TNA favorite, and another great TNA tag team from the start. You got the Motor City Machine Guns, and you got the American Wolves. In the comments, let us know, who do you like more, Machine Guns or Wolves? Because when I think of it, I always tend to go Wolves because I just really like that tag team. But when you look at the Motor City Machine Guns, they've been doing it for years, still going. Kushida, always been a fan of this guy. Like Randy, I haven't seen a ton of him since NXT. He's done some appearances, appeared in New Japan, appeared here, looked great in the ring. So I can't wait to see how this happens. Sass is picking Machine Guns. Randy, who do you got?
Yeah, I'll go Machine Guns because I just think longevity. They were doing it in TNA before the Wolves, and here they are, still together, even though they're doing it in singles right now. But just constantly, they've been one of those top teams for a long, long time in TNA.
And I think with the way that Davey Richards kind of saw himself out the door, that kind of helps. That doesn't really tarnish the name of the Wolves, but it makes Motor City Machine Guns that much better. Beer Money, another classic TNA tag team. If we're going to go all back TNA tag team, who's your guys' favorite? Because I'm still going Wolves.
You go further back. What about America's Most Wanted? You talk about old school TNA teams. Chris Harrison, James Storm at one point. There's a lot of great teams in this era. I'm trying to think. There was that Commonwealth connection to Nick Aldis, and I'm breaking out on who his partner was. Joe, you remember who Nick Aldis' partner was back then? Doug Williams, yeah.
Aces and Eights, another great tag team.
Of course, Team 3D, too.
I personally like the newer reboot of LAX that was Santana and Ortiz.
Yeah.
I was at Bound for Glory that they had the match where they stripped the ring, and that was a great match. That was the wild Austin Aries no-sell walk-off.
Yeah, the Lucha Brothers had the tag belts for a while.
I'm loving this crowd, but they're really excited for this match.
Think
about the Hardys.
Yeah, I guess because we always think of the Hardys as, that WWE team and what they did with Ring of Honor, but yeah, they were TNA mainstays for a while too.
One of my favorite recent Impact things was when they did the Broken Hardys. I even got a DVD set made of it by a tape trader because I liked that time of Impact so much, and it was so creative. This is interesting. All-time favorite TNA wrestler is Abyss.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be my pick, but now that I'm trying to think of it, who would be my favorite TNA wrestler?
Randy loves LAX. God, favorite all-time TNA wrestler. AJ Styles.
I'm feeling AJ Styles.
Or Samoa Joe. Go ahead.
I wasn't thinking Joe. I was thinking, it was somebody else from that time. I just lost it too.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Daniels.
I was going to say Kurt Angle because I think the one he had in Kurt Angle, and you talk about it all the time, that he did more time in TNA than he did in WWE.
Right.
But a lot of people think of him as a WWE guy.
Your main event in WrestleMania. But yeah, no, Kurt Angle's a great choice. I mean, for me, that Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe feud, like that is one of my favorite feuds of all time.
That Lethal Lockdown. Oh, Randy coming with another deep pick. First champ Ken Shamrock.
And hey, you want to talk about old school, right? What about Ron Killens from back in the day? One of the first NWA champs right there. The Suntan Superman, as he would say. And how about this for a story, too, by the way? R-Truth, Ron Killens, he just passed CM Punk in merchandise sales right now. That guy is on fire.
Think about that. A guy barely gets TV time, eats up the screen whenever he's on it. That's great to hear. I just loved all the Monsters Ball matches. That is one thing about TNA is they brought that variance to like the match setup, and that's another thing that made them. I think you're talking about Consequences, Creed, but he was great when he was here. Early Xavier Woods.
Yeah, but that wasn't Apollo Creed gimmick, Joe. No doubt. But yeah, shout out to R-Truth. I know this is in a WWE show, but yeah, it is awesome to hear that he's doing so well with that limited bit of time that he got. And let's see here. Raven was good in TNA. Absolutely, Sean. Yes, I know. I don't know why I said Apollo. It happens, man. He looked like Apollo Creed. Ain't no way around it.
It happens when you do the name so close to the person that you're trying to give respect to that people are almost going to pick that. Oh, look at that Vikingo move. Guys, I love talking to everybody, but I'm going to have to go back and watch this match tomorrow because I'm missing so much, and it just looks so amazing. Monty Brown, another great pick.
Pounce! Who remembers that, huh?
I gotta say, I'm glad that we've got so much TNA talk going on because these are things I wouldn't have thought about otherwise, and it's bringing back good memories at TNA. I'm not thinking about people not getting paid. I'm thinking about the people from the past that we enjoyed, and this is what we aim to do on this podcast. Talk about what we like in wrestling and mention less of what we don't like.
Yeah, I mean, Monty Brown was one of those great early TNA guys. He's a guy I thought that could have done a lot more. But I mean, honestly, it's tough. Christian Cage, he had a phenomenal career in TNA, even when he came back. Shark Boy and Curryman. AJ would probably tell you Curryman is one of his all-time favorite guys in pro wrestling.
And I was actually looking forward to the pre-show because to see Frankie Kazarian in the ring, he was a guy when him and Chris Daniels were in that tag team, they were top-notch. And then they went on to Ring of Honor and built on that. So many great teams kind of went from either Ring of Honor to Impact and then back to Ring of Honor, or went one way or the other and just became such big stars. Who had a better time in ROH? Like, where was Austin Aries better? in Impact Wrestling or in ROH? I think that's 3 Live crew.
Yeah, he's talking about Conan, Road Dogg, who was going as Brian James there, I believe, and or maybe Road Dogg Jesse James, but and of course Billy Gunn, Kip Sop at the time.
I mean, you know, Dave's a fan of 2 Live crew, face down, ass up. I'm not going to finish this. I'm not dirty.
Eric Young was underrated, no doubt. Eric Young. I mean, Eric Young, you talk about, you know, just the many gimmicks he's played, that comedy character, the serious character, the stuff he did in NXT as part of Sanity. Like, you know, Eric Young has done a lot of great stuff in pro wrestling. Underrated.
I believe he's even had like reality shows or been a part of a couple on some channels. And that's not something I expect with a character like that. But when you see the variety of things he can do in wrestling, why would he not be able to apply that outside of that?
Vikingo tearing this up right now. This has been a great platform for a guy like Elo Vikingo.
Getting Thor in on the live watch along.
I feel like, and this isn't a knock, but just like AEW's got so much talent that I don't think Vikingo's really got to display a lot of stuff like he is tonight in this match.
No, and I think the problem really is the booking. I hate to come down on Tony Khan's booking, but when you see a guy like Vikingo standing out in a TNA,
right,
you're like, how is this not happening week to week when he's on AEW?
Right, he gets put in that Rampage slot, sometimes the Collision shot in these tag matches, but I think back to what Eric Bischoff used to do with WCW, where he puts those luchadors matches like in the 9 o'clock hour, you know? I say let him tear it up on Dynamite, you know, and give him like a real showcase spot, you know?
Yeah,
I think that. Yeah, I was gonna say I think that first showcase spot we really did see with him in AEW was the first time he ever wrestled in AEW when he had that match and he didn't win, but against Kenny Omega, you know. But I don't think he's had a chance to really showcase anything like that since.
No, like Lucha Libre's got to be one of my favorite forms of wrestling, and it's one of those things where he's such a good wrestler, but it just. I don't know, and Randy's comment kind of says it right here.
Yeah. Tough to stand out with a big roster.
Big roster, and just the way they're utilized sometimes, it could be way better.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's it, right? You know, it's just, ooh.
Now, guys, what do you think of the watch-along so far? Is this something we should keep doing? Because I'm having a great time. I expected to be much more tired, but between the matches and just all the wrestling talk, it is really keeping me going here.
Hey, Royal Rumble, we're doing it no matter what, guys. So,
gotta let you know, AJ is in the Instagram chat.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I'm gonna give him a little acknowledgement here. He might make it in later. We're not making any promises, but. Like I said, we want to do more of these watch-alongs, and we kind of wanted to practice with this. Sass, good to hear that you like watch-alongs. I'm not particularly a watch-along person, so I never thought about doing it. But getting in here, like, we're not going to give you the wild reactions. That's just not who we are.
Well, I mean, the CM Punk thing caught us off guard at Survivor Series. That was pretty wild.
Yeah.
You're going to have to... We're probably mundane to compare to a lot of other people, but yeah, I mean, I think it's going to take, you know, somebody really surprising and shocking showing up to get that reaction out of us.
Yeah, and I mean, TNA could pull it off. They've been amazing so far tonight, but I don't know if they're going to have anybody that's necessarily going to make us shit our pants.
I'll tell you what, I really, popping out with a couple of those moves we saw, the hammer arm suplex off the top by Kushida, the triple moonsault by Vikingo to the floor. There's a lot of good stuff here.
Yep. AJ, I know you're missing AJ's comments, Randy. He's in the Instagram chat. He might make it on. We're not rushing him tonight.
Well, this is good to know.
Wow, that's surprising that a lot of people don't react with the chat because they probably have way more people in the chat. And the thing is, we have to remind ourselves to do it because, like me, I want to get caught up in the action, but then I'm remembering that people are watching and they want to have something going. And we're really going to build up that fan base because we just tend to put out podcasts, and really building that community is something we're working at. So we want to thank you guys for starting it off with us here.
Yeah. And by the way, guys, we're talking about it now. One of the ideas we have talked about is we have thought about getting some of the people to watch us, Gregory, Randy, Sean, if you're interested. We might be interested in doing a panel down the road. We're looking for particular subjects. One subject I put out recently in a short was Bret Hart or Ric Flair, who better in the ring, But, we could talk like favorite tag team wrestlers. So if anybody's interested in maybe doing, kind of a chat here, a debate where we all get together and talk about some of our favorites, let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
I'm sorry, Joe. I was basically ready. No, we're not. I forget KTC and Iron Claw again. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and let us know what other things you'd like to see us cover because we kind of come up week to week with what we'd like to talk about, but we'd like to, Sass is in. We will definitely be speaking to you about that in the future because, I don't know, Randy likes a debate idea because when we started off, Dave, one of the early ideas about this podcast was because the debate between you and AJ.
Right. Yeah, I think it would be fun just to maybe we'll start off with tag teams or something. Talk about our top 5 favorite tag teams of all time and see what we get for a list and why, we put people on those lists and what was great about them. That could be fun. Or maybe just our top 5 favorite matches even. And I think Joe, we was turning around here. I think Sabin, he's proven us both wrong.
All right, I'll find out in about 5 seconds.
It was a great match when you brought it home. I agree, Sean. That was a great match.
It just finished up for me. I'm a little behind, but that is surprising.
Yeah. This was my original pick, but I thought for sure once they announced that relationship that,
Sass, I gotta admit, I wasn't expecting that either. That was something else.
That was Randy that said that, but
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Joe's getting overcome here. What we got here? What's this commercial about here?
Yeah, it's a lot to kind of go between the show and the chat here. Trying to keep up, people. Like I said, this is only the second watch along we've ever done.
Hammerstone. A little black and white video with a ring behind him here. That's funny. They're going back to looking at some explosion matches here he had.
Okay, we got commercial for Paradox Las Vegas.
Yeah, you're a little behind, but yeah. Hammerstone, Josh Alexander.
Explosion. That's surprising.
I'm excited for this one.
I like that they're giving him a video trying to preview something. I like those TBS and TNT turnbuckles in the back, if you can see there. Hammerstone is a guy out of Arizona, but spent a lot of time at FSW in Las Vegas. So it could be that connection that got him in. I really hope this is a tryout for a future spot.
Yeah, I mean, he did the Future Stars of Wrestling, kind of broke in there, but, he really has been killing it with MLW the last few years. And really, I agree. Hammerstone is money. He's a guy that, if I was AEW, man, I would really try to pick him up. I'd say WWE too, but I don't know if Hammer's passing that wellness test.
I was about to say the same thing about AEW. Could they worry about signing him from the optics of it? But they got Brian Cage, so.
As Sass says, it reminds me a lot of Brian Cage.
I wasn't even looking at that, and that happened.
I know. That's what I thought was funny. Yeah. So here's a random.
This weekend.
Here's a random question for everybody out here. Who are some of your favorite all-time power wrestlers?
Dr. Death, Steve Williams all day.
Dr. Death, Steve Williams. I'll tell you what, I was an Ultimate Warrior guy as a kid, but if you want to talk about guys that held up, like the Steiner brothers for me, like Rick and Scott throwing people around, suplexes, clotheslines, like they were some of my favorite powerhouse wrestlers. Randy, great pick. The British Bulldog, another one of my favorites. My mom's favorite wrestler, actually. So, kind of funny.
Oh, wow. I thought it was Scott Hall.
Scott Hall is one of her all-time favorites, too. Drew McIntyre for me. Drew is a guy who's killing it right out there right now. He's a guy that I hope they sign, and he continues to get the big push, because to me, Drew just delivers in every segment, win or lose right now.
How about Scott Norton for a name from the mid-90s?
Scott Norton, great power guy. Yeah, man, there was a lot of good ones. I think that Dr. Death Steve Williams one is a good one. I kind of
why not talk Terry Gordy, Miracle Violence connection?
Absolutely. And I think Sean is talking about Drew McIntyre still. Kind of want to see him in AEW. Well, here's the thing: if he did show up in AEW, like he's going to probably do huge in that Wembley show. Like we could see. Tell me you couldn't see Drew McIntyre with an AEW World Championship headline in Wembley Stadium, perhaps against the Will Ospreay, which is amazing to think that those two could be in the ring together.
Speaking of Drew McIntyre, how about his time in Impact? It was so beneficial to him that it got him a WWE contract again.
I mean,
I think he grew into a character there too a bit.
He turned himself around. He was doing great things on the independents in Europe, with companies like ICW as well. But yeah, there's no doubt that time in Impact was very fruitful for him. Now look at Randy. Alex Kane is crushing it. That's a name right now in MLW that you haven't seen. You got to give props to.
All right, everybody, before this match starts, who do we got getting the win?
I'm going to go Josh Alexander because I don't know that Hammerstone's signed.
Yeah, same thing here. I think Hammerstone's going to look great, but I mean, if Hammerstone wins, I wouldn't be surprised to hear that a contract had been signed.
Yes, could very well be. Yeah.
As Alexander, Randy, who you got?
Sass also said Cody Rhodes is killing it too, by the way. And Cody Rhodes was another guy.
Let us know your picks. We're just talking to Sass and Randy because they're keeping it going. But anybody else that wants to get in the conversation, get in here.
Yeah, we had somebody else. Was it Brian McCarthy? Was it earlier? Brian Carter.
I thought.
Yeah, Brian Carter. It was Brian Carter. And then Debbie Trinity Poff there, who just wanted to know that Tommy Dreamer match has happened. Okay, so everybody's going Alexander. I guess people are assuming Alexander signed.
Well, Josh Alexander is signed.
He signed Impact? Oh, no. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, okay. Well, wait a minute. I took that as Alexander Hammerstone from...
You picked Hammerstone?
No, I'm picking Josh Alexander.
Oh, yeah. I think that's what everybody's saying, but it's tough because it's Alexander Hammerstone, too.
Right. Yeah. That's why it was thrown for me. And by the way, back to this comment for a second here, too, real quick. Cody Rhodes is killing it, too. Cody Rhodes is another guy that was killing it in TNA wrestling for a bit, too, as a heel.
Yeah, great appearance. That was that early Global Force time.
It would be awesome to see Richard Holiday in here with Alexander Hammerstone.
Yeah, that's a guy we saw come up in the Northeast scene. And especially as him and Hammerstone got bigger, it was great to see them in MLW. And then you see MJF make that step up. So
first time I saw Richard Holiday was independent scene XWA out of Rhode Island, and I was impressed with that guy.
yeah, even as like somebody that I was just seeing for the first time, you could see the confidence. You could see he was getting it together, and just great at it.
Another guy that was crushing on the independent scene around that time too, MJF, who we had saw in XWA and Beyond Wrestling, and right away that guy just jumped off the chart. Let's see what we got here. Randy remembers going to that XWA show with Scott. Yeah. There's some good stuff out of the XWA show. You know, there was one year at an XWA show, Paul London like shook hands with everybody, literally everybody in the crowd. And then the following year at the same big event they would do, Paul started doing it again for his match. And then he got cut off by Sami Callihan, who hit him with a trash can.
Yeah, they held some great shows in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts area. Beyond Wrestling has really picked up the ball with that, and they are like the premier wrestling in Massachusetts. If you're talking Connecticut, there's no way you can ignore Northeast wrestling. You know, we can't. I'm hoping they come back to the park in Jewett City this year. I don't know if we're going to be involved in the show, but we will definitely be going. It's just great to see them come up here. XWA shows were definitely hidden gems. You know, NEW, when you hear they're having a show, you know it's going to be top notch. XWA, they'd have some people you knew, some people they didn't, but it would always be just that top level show. It's great to see Alexander and Hammerstone in here really going at each other.
Yeah, doing that belly to belly overhead. Boom. You know, that's a move that I've always enjoyed watching. That belly to belly overhead, the German suplex as well. Oh, yeah. There's another great name killing it right now from this area in the independent scene for a while. Carmelo Hayes as Kristen Casanova and NEW. I think the first time, one of the first matches I remember Kristen Casanova was at NEW show. I don't know if this is the one Sean is talking about, but it was a three-way dance with Darby Allin, who's now part of AEW, and Rey Mysterio.
That's wild. That was back when he had almost the Michael Jackson gimmick before Santana Jackson there.
Right. He was doing, this was a Dodge Stadium show, too. Josh Alexander with the TNA towel right there now. This was interesting. That slam he did off the apron there. Yeah, Dodge Stadium.
That's funny that probably everybody in this chat was at that same wrestling show, but we didn't all talk at the same time. Dave, I don't even know if I really talked to you that much at that time.
Yeah, Matt Riddle was at that show too. I'm wondering, Sean, you might remember this. Was he wrestling Jake Hager? I'm trying to remember if that was the match at the time.
And that was one where Moxley was there for a signing, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Maybe.
We could be talking about different shows as well.
Yeah. You know, I don't remember Mox being there, honestly.
I would love to see Josh Alexander make his way back up there. That it's a good question.
Brad Hollister. Yep.
Brad Hollister, another guy that's doing big things. You know, getting up on Wrestling Open a lot at Beyond there.
Hammerstone and Josh Alexander having a real hard-hitting match.
Yeah, I think living up to what we'd expect here.
So there you go. Moxley was at that second Dodge team, so 2018. Sean spitting out the stats. Gotta love it.
God, this podcast could really use a stat man.
A stat man. Maybe Sassman could be
like the
stat
Undertaker there.
Oh yeah. Hammerstone now. Big press. Doing those reps, catches him, spins him around. Gives him that rock bottom. Gonna shake them ropes, a la Batista style, Ultimate Warrior.
I'm a little behind in just seeing the disbelief on Alexander's face before he takes it to Hammerstone. Now Hammerstone has him by the throat. It's interesting to see. And Randy, you are correct. Moxley is battling Shingo Takagi in a no DQ match. That's going to be a hell of a match. That could steal the show on Battle in the Valley.
Enzo and Cass.
That was the time when Enzo and Cass were a big draw, just getting. I mean, I always enjoyed them in NXT. It was great to see them try and continue it on the indies. And it's sad to see that they're only like a fraction of them old selves in this new setup they have.
Cass is defending his tag titles tonight with Ricky Starks.
Yes, he is.
So, a lot of wrestling on tonight.
Yeah, and after this show, is anybody clicking into any other wrestling? I might check out Battle in the Valley. I might save it for the morning. I haven't yet decided.
Oh, pump handle. Caught. Blocked. Josh Alexander got an ankle lock on Hammerstone, whose knee buckled at one point in this match.
I saw that earlier. That's one of the great things about NEW is they bring in such big names for those shows that they feel like almost overloaded at times. But you get your money's worth in that ticket. That's why I will always check out NEW.
Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that. Mickey James is involved in OVW right now.
Yeah, I read something about that earlier. Signed on. I don't know if it's as a trainer. But I mean, that just steps up OVW's portfolio even more now.
Yeah, I mean, you got the show on NXT, Al Snow, obviously does a great job over there.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. That'll be a story we have to hear off air.
That's funny. I met Dustin Rhodes at one of those shows. He was actually very nice. Jake Hager was having a little fun with me, but he was nice too. Yeah.
That'll happen though. Sometimes you just catch guys on an off day or they're not the biggest people person. And that's why sometimes I try and decide, do I want to approach a wrestler? Do I want to get a picture? Because I enjoy this person, but could you have that interaction that you're just always going to remember and sour you to some degree on them?
Hammerstone, high impact move, but that knee is buckling right now. So I kind of wonder if the story of this match is going to be that knee will be the one that fades out for him. But yeah, right now, I'm definitely not. These guys are having a great knockdown, drag out match. There's that pendulum swing by Alexander Hammerstone. John Funaki, obviously a great guy. I'm sure he was,
Shit, we're double clicking. I'll let Dave handle these comments, so I'm not gonna take him off the screen too quick.
That's all right. I got you. Yeah, I'm sure Funaki was a great guy. Everything I've ever read or seen about Funaki sounds like he's an awesome guy. Let's see what Hammerstone here setting up for. They're both on the apron. Puts him on his shoulders. Alexander fighting back. Oh, I gotta wonder what we're setting up here. Oh, Hammerstone picks it up. Hammerstone with a great explosiveness. Oh, Death Valley driver on the ring apron. As Randy says, what a move. Which just makes me think of Vince McMahon with, ha, 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 what a move. Oh, my. Ha, ha, ha.
I always think of what a maneuver.
What a maneuver. Old school Vince McMahon. That's what I always think when I see that.
Now, what are you guys more likely to go back and watch tomorrow? Collision, Battle of the Belts, both of them, just one of them? For me, I'll watch Collision, but I don't think I'm going to give my time to Battle of the Belts.
I might tomorrow because I'll be in the bread truck. I'll probably listen to it. Might take a couple days. Might not get to it till Monday.
Big drop kick there from Hammerstone.
So
He's right here.
Sass is watching Collision tomorrow. Yeah, no doubt. I'm gonna probably check out Collision. Randy wants to read the review, see if it was any good. Yeah, that's always one way to do it too.
I'm sure Collision will be great. It's just like, will Battle of the Belts be worth it, I think is the question. And you got to remember, that's an hour after the 2 hours already of Collision.
Right. It's going to be a long time for that crowd. And who knows if they had anything like they taped Ring of Honor or anything before, too.
That's a good question. I wonder with that night, because we've known that AEW tapings can tend to be long. They're fun. You will get a lot of great matches. But if you're getting those ROH tapings, you're going to get a lot of matches.
Oh. Josh Alexander with the exploder suplex, a pump handle kick, a German suplex right now. He is rolling. I'm looking for here. A sit-out power bomb. And Josh Alexander kicks out. So that was Hammerstone with all that offense, by the way. Hammerstone setting up now. Maybe Josh Alexander with a small package. Whew. I'm going to give a little play-by-play. Why not? Alexander firing back. Elbows. Here comes Hammerstone. Alexander ducks. Boom. Elbow to the back of the head. And Alexander with the German suplex. Randy, I think there has to be one title change. Only one title change ever on the Battle of the Belt show. I think that is correct. Yeah. I think that was possibly a TNT title. Randy, yeah, this is a great match. I was having
the latter end of that Hammerstone burst, and that was a great bit of offense for him.
And I'll let Joe watch the end of this here because it's coming up.
Well, that's what we expected.
Yeah. Josh Alexander gets the win. What a match. What a maneuver. Oh, my.
So far, they've only went one way we didn't expect in a match. And,
yeah.
You know, you kind of you get spoiled as a wrestling watcher, and you can kind of predict where things are going. You can kind of see what's going to happen, but they got us once. We're going to see if they're going to surprise us with anything else. They promised a lot of surprises, too, and I think they're delivering.
So right now we're looking at a video that's showing a lot of great old school TNA tag teams. I think is really funny given what we were talking about. I'm seeing LAX. I'm seeing the Guns. I'm seeing, everybody. Well, maybe we're just getting ready for this big four-way tag match here, I guess.
And it's also smart because, if you're bringing back the name TNA, you want people to think about like some of the best things that happen. And TNA has had a lot of really good tag teams.
Yeah, no doubt.
We're seeing tag teams we didn't even mention. And we're leaving out the newer ones. The Rascalz have been one of the newer tag teams that has been out of hand the last few years. It's great to see Ace Austin. I remember when he was on the Indies and showed up at that Bound for Glory show. I don't even know if he was there to work. He was just there to see it. And to see how far he's come in Impact Wrestling TNA, it's great.
Yeah, Speedball Mike Bailey, the team up with Trent Seven, which I think is a phenomenal team, but I'm wondering if the Laredo Kid is going to complement his style that much more.
I'm going to put up the graphic because I'm assuming this is the next matchup.
Yeah, it's got to be. Except for no Trent Seven.
I think Laredo Kid might even make a better team with Mike Bailey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But Grizzled Young Veterans there, that's going to be probably the team to watch out for here.
Yeah, if anybody's going to get it but the title holders, it's got to be them.
Just curious here. Yeah, former NXT UK Tag Team Champions. They never did win the NXT championship, though.
Now it's like before they even got a chance to heat up, they got put in that faction, and it kind of, not going to say neutered them, but it definitely stifled their progression.
Let me see. We got some stats here. Taglines, we're calling it, for this match. Yeah, Joe said this could be match of the night. We've already seen a lot of great matches, so.
But you look at the quality of all 8 of these competitors, and how is this match not going to be fast-paced, high-flying? We're going to see death-defying moves topping each other. I would like to think so, Randy. They are my pick. I made it on the show yesterday. I had to double check to make sure.
Well, yeah, it's interesting, right? I'm trying to think here. I'm going to eliminate Bailey and Laredo Kid. As much as I think they'll be a fun team to watch, being as the last-second replacement, I don't think they'll get the straps. Rascalz definitely could. I could see Bey and Austin retaining too, or the veterans winning. The Grizzled Young Vets winning. This is a interesting match because I feel like almost everybody has a good shot. Well, Joe's up on 1, so I'm going to have to disagree with him at some point. So I'll disagree for this one. I will go with... I'll say that ABC's keeping the straps. So Ace Austin, Chris Bey, I think they get it done. I would be mad if Bailey and Laredo Kid pulled off the upset, though. No one would see it coming. Interesting. So here we go. We got, grit your teeth, the Grizzled Young Vets coming out. And it is really good to see these guys back in the ring under their old gimmick. I don't think they were too happy with what they were doing in NXT, unfortunately, but hey, you know, they're here right now. They're in Impact, and they're ready to make a statement. Just look at how determined they look.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you hear them wanting to get out of WWE, finally getting the release. And now that they're back on the independents, you feel like they're going to be attacking these first matches with like a little extra fervor, getting it a little extra on top.
Yeah, I would think so. And here comes Ace and Bey Club. What a interesting team this turned out to be, huh?
Yes, they were guys when they first came into NXT. I was like, these guys are good. I enjoy what they're doing, but like, I wouldn't say they were necessarily a favorite. And then when they got put in that team with Gacy and everything interesting about them was taken away, I was like, I want to see more of these guys.
Yeah, it wasn't good with Gacy. But I was more suggested, I think I'm a little ahead because Bey and Austin have turned out to be quite a team, I think.
Yeah, they did. And especially getting that Bullet Club, you know, moniker on them helps. Mm-hmm. Like, I always thought Ace Austin was a great singles wrestler. And the same with Bey. But you put these two high-flying guys together, give them that little bit of attitude, and especially in a young tag division like this, they feel like the leaders of this tag division. But we could see, will the Grizzled Young Vets change that tonight?
Yeah, everybody. One more tag team. It is crazy the Bullet Club is still a thing.
Yeah, not as cool as it once was, but it still, it finds a way to continue on. It morphs. I'm a little behind you guys, so I'm waiting to see if there is going to be one more tag team in here.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet either, so that's why I was kind of wondering if if Son was just predicting something, or if been some music.
I mean, I'm already wondering how this is going to go. This is pretty stacked with 4 teams.
Yeah,
and especially 4 guys that are going to keep the energy up and that something's going to be going every minute.
So no, we're starting off now. Looks like there's not going to be one more tag team. That would have been interesting, though.
I would have taken a surprise in this. Like,
yeah,
this has been a good pay-per-view so far. They haven't had to go over the top, but they've definitely been delivering. And like, if they did anything over it, I would still love it just as much.
Randy wishes would do more with Anderson and Gallows, and that would have been a nice surprise team.
They were great in Impact when they had their time there, and then they left to go back to WWE, and I mean, at least they're getting paid, but I really like the run they had in Impact.
Yeah, no doubt. Grizzled Young Vets starting us off here with Ace Austin. Look at the pace we're keeping. So he was thinking Kingdom, but they got a lot with Ring of Honor and AEW. Yeah, I mean, no doubt. So I think that would have been interesting had we got that. But, yeah, they got their hands full right now.
Yeah, because when Mike Bennett was in Impact, he was a solo.
Randy saying should be 4 people in the ring. I get that. Fatal 4-way. Everybody should have a shot. That's one thing that I've never really enjoyed about these matches is that, that if you tag out, you're automatically taking yourself out of the match, right? So you have to play in the psychology, well, you're hurt. But it's like, you'd like to think that, like, well, if you want to win the titles, why would I ever tag out? At least I would tag out to my own partner.
Yeah.
But
yeah, try and avoid getting into somebody else's corner so you can get that blind tag on the back.
Rascalz doing some great double team moves right now.
It's tough in a match like this because you could lose the title without even being involved.
Yeah, Austin and Bey have both took turns being great bumpers in this match. So that's why they can be a great tag team champions. The Laredo Kid with a blind tag. Now Speedball in there. They're getting ready to do some good double team action. Ooh.
It's good seeing each team getting a little bit of time to display what they can do in the ring there.
Yeah, the Laredo Kid and Speedball Mike Berry, like you said before this, are probably going to make a great, team together.
Yeah, it's hard to call them the winners being thrown together, but both being such acrobatic people that they are definitely going to pull off some moves that we're not going to believe.
A tornado tag match would have been better. Yeah, I mean, it would have been interesting. Probably definitely more chaotic. Now everybody is in the ring anyway, so.
Yeah, you almost got to wonder if they did it this way to make it easier to call. Like, would it be just too busy if everybody was in there? But it almost feels like too slow with just 2 people in the ring at one time.
Now the ref's getting a little control here.
Good for him.
I thought that maybe they were going to try to do that tornado tag thing Randy was talking about for a minute, but looks like we got everybody calm down. They're all back here, and now we got.
All right, so he's really trying to establish the rules of what kind of match we got going on.
Speedball putting on a display with those kicks. Yes, Mike Bailey did have a great year last year, no doubt.
It was great that he was finally able to work in the U.S. because we heard so much about him, but you would only see him on certain shows. And then getting to work in the U.S., becoming a part of Impact Wrestling, and really showing why he's made such a name for himself in the wrestling scene.
I see James Drake and Mike Bailey in the ring now.
Yeah, tonight is our first time broadcasting to Instagram. So if you're watching on Instagram, let us know how it's going. Otherwise, we're on all the usual platforms: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch.
Whew.
You might even catch us on Twitter if you're lucky.
I'll tell you, Gibson and Drake, the Grizzled Young Vets, looking good right now, rolling on Mike Bailey. I think what I like about them is that they're just kind of they can fly around, they can brawl, or they can do it technical, whatever you want. The Grizzled Young Vets are that team. Impact back in Orlando next weekend.
And they just feel so fresh. Like being out of that WWE system, it's got to be such a good time being in the ring and being able to do it the way they like.
Mm. Yeah, it's not for everybody, you know? Not everybody's going to excel in that system.
See,
can't be all. We can't all be Obafemis.
Dave's celebrating that he's getting that name right. He's like, I'm going to use this as many times as I can. I like seeing that the Grizzled Young Vets are staying in such control. It makes me think that they're not going to win it now, but
they kind of almost remind me of a modern day Midnight Express in some ways.
Yeah, they're really good on the Christmas of those double team moves.
Yeah,
cutting off the ring, just real good tag team wrestlers. And that's probably why they didn't, find a spot in the WWE. No battle royal matches tonight, no.
Yeah.
You would have thought there would have been one on the pre-show or something.
Hmm. Well, I mean, it's kind of. I think it's kind of nice almost because with the Royal Rumble coming up, do you really want to see any other battle royal matches?
Yeah, and especially who would be in a battle royal match with as stacked as this card is.
Right. Laredo Kid firing off on everybody here till James Drake takes over. Oh, a Hurricanrana into the ropes. Boy, Laredo Kid. Talk about that speed. Here's a guy that, again, I'd like to see maybe in an AEW ring or something, in that 9 o'clock hour,
Sass with an interesting question here.
The Sting do a final TNA match before Revolution. That's a good question. Yeah.
It would be a good thing for Tony Khan to do, but I haven't seen him do much working with other promotions in a little while.
Right. Yeah, they slowed that
outside
down.
of the country.
Sting is a TNA Hall of Famer too, right?
I believe so. Yeah, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he's TNA and WWE Hall of Fame. Randy Osgood here, asking me the hard here. Is Butch going back to Pete Dunne? It's funny you asked that, Randy. Me and AJ off air today were actually talking about that, and we both had the same thought watching that promo on SmackDown with him and Tyra Bate that maybe this is the return of Pete Dunne. Only speculation at this point, but yeah, we all had that same vibe. And right now, here we go. Austin and Bey rocking and rolling here. Oh, Bey got Wentz there, going to torch a rack. Oh, what happened there? Austin looks like he got caught in the ropes. Oh! He gets back up, though. Double team maneuver. They're going for the pin. Love a good old botch. Yeah, that was definitely not planned. I was wondering if he hurt that leg. Looks like he could be limping a little. Bey gets caught with a knee. Here comes Speedball in the ring now. He's flying. He's got those kicks rolling. Him and Laredo Kid beating up Zach Wentz. But here comes Zach Gibson and James Drake.
Oh, no, I'm looking at the comments. What is the botch I missed?
Ace Austin got tied up in the ropes when he was trying to come down with a kick while Bey had a torture rack on Zach Wentz. Ooh, speaking of Zach Wentz, he just got his head kicked off by James Drake in the corner. Randy, you're right. This match is picking up right now.
Looks like Sacrifice is the next pay-per-view up from TNA.
I'll have to say a doomsday device by the Grizzled Young Vets. Bailey with the save, though. This match is going to continue. It's interesting to see
the old, looking great in this match.
Yeah, it's just to see the old doomsday device. Here comes Laredo Kid. Oh, drop kick for both Grizzled Young Vets. It's kind of funny that the botch wasn't Laredo Kid or somebody like that, Ended up being Ace Austin. Well, I guess Ace Austin does a lot of aerial moves, though.
I just saw the replay of that doomsday device. That thing was beautiful.
Bailey, goes flying on the outside, takes out the tag champs.
It's going to be hard to top this going into the last few matches of the night.
And Randy with the question, what company has the best tag division right now? That's funny you asked that. I would still go with AEW. Just because of FTR and, you have the Bucks. But I don't think they're being used the best way right now. Yeah, I did speak too soon about Laredo Kid. Of course, it was going to be a botch.
Best tag division, AEW has the best one.
Yeah.
After watching this pay-per-view, I feel like TNA uses their tag division the best.
Yeah, well, definitely this match. Oh, Bailey looked like he was going to bring home the gold there. Double super kick to Bailey's face. The Rascalz are rolling now.
I love that this feels like a big match on the card.
Wow. Trey Miguel flying through the air. So you're going to love that when you see that. Oh.
I feel like that's about to happen in a minute here. Just got the double super kick to Bailey's face.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Right now, James Drake getting annihilated by the Rascalz.
If we were calling that, Dave, I think we would have called that wasn't pretty, but effective.
Pretty effective. Ace Austin with the save, but now he's outnumbered. Look at this. Ace Austin calling out both Rascalz. He's saying, let's bring it. Here comes Chris Bey.
See, and this is where the booking in wrestling really comes through. This match just feels like a spectacle. This feels like huge.
Yeah, they're doing a great job with the in-ring action here, making it feel important.
It doesn't feel like we're 2.5 hours into a watch-along either with this thing plugging along.
Rascalz rolling on. Oh.
Yeah, this is an interesting question because I think I've thought about this, but I don't know if I have a top favorite match.
And looks like I got one right, yeah? Thank you, Randy. We'll celebrate it. Dave gets one right. The tag titles stay home with Ace Austin and Chris Bey. They're the champs. They get it done. And yeah, man, I don't know, to answer Joe's question, favorite match we ever commentated on. I don't think I have something like that yet. You know, it's still such a new experience still. It's just kind of doing our job. And then there's times when we go, that was a good one. That's a good one. But there hasn't been one where I'm like, whew, you know, that was the best we ever did.
We called our first ladder match yesterday. I think that might be one of the best. As far as favorite, I mean, we're lucky to call anything. So just to be asked to do New Heights Wrestling, oh yeah, we're still doing commentary. But if I had to put one thing that was my favorite, it had to be the Grizzled Great Get Together. Being able to film it, do commentary over an event that happened in our hometown, that's got to be my favorite thing in wrestling. Because like Dave said, it's almost like work now. You know, where we get the matches in, we write up our notes, get ready to do it. And it just feels like, you know, going to work. And sometimes when we watch back, I'll be like, Dave, you really got to watch this call we did. I think we did decent. A lot of the times, though, I hear things we could do better. So, yeah, I don't know if we're at a part where we're really cruising now. We're still really looking to, you know, improve. And that's a funny question, Randy, because we don't know. We've only really been taping so far. We haven't done anything live. And that would be interesting to see what that different dynamic is. Like getting your notes ready and then whatever happens in front of you, how does it play out?
I would say that one thing is missing. You know, again, we haven't done it live, but, you know, sometimes it's tough to, you know, have that energy, you know, if the matches aren't clicking, you know, and it's hot. And we had that experience once before where, you know, we were getting some repetitive matches because there was a special type of event where it was just a lot of the same old things were happening. And it was tough to do. Whereas being live, I think you just have to have that natural energy. That being said, there's advantages to doing it tape too, where you can do a redo, you know?
Yes, that's something that I'd be interesting to hear about, working the camera at that event, because, you know, we don't have anything to do with the camera work. Luckily, we were able to hire a guy, and then he had the connections with NEW where we got that second camera. And it was weird for us to even put that together, like to hire a cameraman and figure out how to tape it. Because when we work with New Heights Wrestling, everything gets sent to us and we just got to figure what to call over it. I love this tale of the tape here.
Apparently this is Joe. You'll be seeing Ash.
Oh, got to put this up because we are talking about the Knockouts Championship match. With any luck, these events will be cut up. And oh, there's the lady we saw. Ash by Elegance. Interesting. Who is that from WWE?
I have no idea.
Is that Dana Brooke? I was talking when they mentioned who it was. We'll see if it gets brought up in the comments.
Let's see. Doing the camera work was tough for Wrecking Ball and Dan Maff when they were in the crowd. I can imagine trying to follow those two horses. It was Dana Brooke. Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, I remember when they started going in the crowd, that's when I got off the little platform we were on, because we were up there, you know, taking in notes, trying to take in the show. But then when they started going around, I'm like, I have to see this, because it was the last match of the night and it was getting to see it from a different viewpoint. I loved how live that crowd was for that.
Yeah. It was, I got to actually hang out with my girlfriend for a little bit, and she didn't really know what was going on. And she was just going to see the fair. And then she comes out. She's like, whoa. She's like, there were two big guys fighting over there. She's like, I just got the heck out of there.
Yeah, that was such a great event. Getting to see Jewett City get that, and getting to see a wrestling show get set up from the start. Interesting to watch the ring get built. They had to find a new place to set it up because the ground was uneven.
Interesting that Dana Brooke has a completely new name and everything over here. Obviously, she couldn't be Dana Brooke, but already going like with a really just a new kind of look and feel.
Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed Dana Brooke showing up. But those were the kind of debuts I knew we were going to get. We weren't going to get the people that you would necessarily think of. They're going to get those interesting other hires.
So that was tough with mine. How many times did they move it? Yeah.
It was like 2 or 3 possibly. There was some running around that we missed in between. Differences in inside show and outside show. Outside show, you got whatever is around is kind of the backdrop.
Right.
When it's inside, it's kind of like static. It's usually a wall. I guess crowd sound, depending on how things are mic'd, that could be another difference. As far as calling it, not too much different. Obviously, I really liked seeing it because you can see the house in the background of a couple shots. Grown up in Jewett City, so just knowing what is behind the whole shot, you get to see the apartments back there, the youth center, the waterfall.
And we're down to 2 more matches here, basically. The co-main event, Jordynne Grace and Trinity. And Joe, I don't know. I think we're agreeing on this match. I'll ask you now, who do you have, Alex Shelley or Moose?
I've got Moose. I think they're going to go out on a limb and try and put it on him.
All right. I'm going to hold off here. Right now, if I agree with you, we'll be tied. But if I do something else here, we might. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm going back and forth on that one a lot. I think I was originally leaning Moose. And let's see what Randy's got here. I thought Jake St. John might be on, but I guess not.
We might be watching.
Yeah, he might be. You never know. But yeah, I keep thinking like Moose would be a great one to go with, but the fact that Sabin won makes me think. I wonder if they were still going to keep it on Shelley for a little while longer. Sean Sass is going Moose. You guys are talking me into it. I guess I'm going to go with Moose then, and I'll just settle for a tie.
It's not running as late as an AEW pay-per-view. I love that. I really think the interaction with people is making this thing move along because this thing has not felt like it's dragged at all, and I expected at least 1 match, maybe 2.
Yeah, it's funny
possibly drag.
How it worked out. What was your favorite 5-3-1 you guys did? Ooh, that's a tough one too, because again, almost like the commentary, it's kind of like just, we usually just, I guess we don't relish in the moment too much. There's a lot of like, was that good? Yeah, I thought that was good. Oh no, I didn't like that. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like what we feel like in the moment, but I don't think we really.
I'm gonna give a little peek behind the curtain, and it was definitely early ones because I'm not gonna say we've worked the crowd in recent 5-3-1s. We have not gotten quite the response that we've wanted, and we've had to create a few more lists. So I think early on when people were very passionate about it, I like that, and we got multiple lists. Tag teams is always a big one for me because I'm a big fan of tag teams.
That's where I was leaning, if I had to say it was the tag teams.
Other than that, I think we wanted to do something important with the ladies one because we wanted to acknowledge women's wrestling.
I think I always enjoyed the fact that me and AJ picked Kane as the top mass wrestler of all time.
Oh, I was about to bring it up. What happens when Joe goes on vacation?
Yeah. That one
it also shows the way that the 5-3-1s can go because I think masked wrestler, I think luchador. I don't think about things like Mr. Wrestling 2, Kane, Abyss, people like that.
Vader,
yeah.
Yeah, even Mick Foley to a certain extent with the Mankind mask.
Yeah, you could include him.
Yeah.
I wonder how many lists he showed up at that time. Oh, Randy dropping truth bombs over here.
It is productive. Yeah, you never know when he's going to show up. Show up, not show up. AJ, very unpredictable. He would agree.
But we can't put tonight on that. This was something that we did at the last moment, and I'm surprised Dave's even here. I was ready to do this solo, and I didn't know how good it was going to go, but
yeah,
I think it's turned out to be a lot of fun, and we may just have to do more of these. Thank you to Drink Game Up for supporting this, and hopefully they come on as an official sponsor. And if you're of alcohol buying age, Labella 2 in Uncasville has Game Up. Go check it out. It is, especially with summertime coming up, it's going to be the #1 summertime drink. You can drink it in the winter too. It was almost 60 degrees out today.
Fun show so far. Absolutely, Randy. This has been a great show. We're having fun calling it. And yeah, Randy, who do you think? We went with Jordynne Grace, obviously, because we think Trinity's leaving the WWE. Who do you have a prediction here for? Do you guys agree? Is this Jordynne Grace's night? Or do you think Trinity's staying and she's getting the victory?
Battle in the Valley card is starting. I'm almost tempted to click over and give a double watch along here.
Yeah, if you want, you can definitely do that. I am sticking with my TNA.
I was going to say, the show is so good, I almost don't want to click away. But that was the thing between these two cards. When I put it out on social media a couple days ago, what watch along do you want to see us do? It is because both cards looked equally good. You know, I might have, gone a little more the New Japan way just because I enjoy that so much more. But
the time was an issue, though.
Yeah, very interested in this TNA comeback. The card was stacked, and it is delivered. I even like their choice of surprises because it's something that they're not going the typical route and just getting the biggest names. I'd like to see how Dana Brooke could do now with a different character.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see, too, if we're still going to have somebody potentially show up for that main event later, too. And Randy said he was on the fence. That's why I asked you guys. Yeah, I think, again, Randy, a big thing that played a part, too, was that Battle of the Valley was going to start at 10 o'clock, too. So for us, it was like, let's do the watch along here with TNA. Oh, Jordynne Grace using that big power.
Yeah, and this was kind of another test, too, to see what kind of response we'd get on watch-alongs. And you guys are definitely making it. It's going to happen again. Like we said, it's going to happen for the big ones, definitely.
Yeah.
But the other pay-per-views like this that are on the weekends, almost like fight night cards, if you think UFC, like where it's not the big pay-per-view, but like maybe a side pay-per-view, we might do some more of these. Wow. Let Fight know we are selling pay-per-views all over the place. I mean, I don't know if you've already bought it, Sass, but main event, Okada versus Ospreay. You're getting Takagi versus Moxley, no DQ match. Kingston versus Gabe Kidd for the Continental Crown. That's not even all the matches. I'm not even going to give you all of them.
Yeah, we are missing the UFC show, right?
Got Shota Umino, Fred Rosser, and Jacob Fatu versus Tom Lawler, Royce Isaacs, Jarrell Nelson. If you want to see a Royce Isaacs interview, go in the archives on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, we got Royce on there.
We're trying to get back to the interviews this year, too.
Who, is there anybody else on that card we interviewed here, too? I think we had a ton of interviews on these two cards.
No. Impact has been notoriously tight-lipped. Get back to me on my birthday. What we might have heard. And actually, the only one we interviewed on that card is Royce Isaacs.
Yeah. Looks like Sass is really liking this Battle of the Valley show.
Yeah,
There's
it's one
too
of
much
those
to
things. If
watch.
you didn't know about it, you'd be like, "Oh wow, I wouldn't have known." But you look at that lineup; they made it very hard this weekend, Randy. That's why, like, I bought both cards. I'm watching both. But live, we had to bring you the fire with TNA. I'm glad that there was a response. I was wondering how many people would do this. You know who's especially happy is drinkgameup.com. We kind of been putting ourselves out there trying to rope in a sponsor. What are have you guys bought any products using podcast sponsorship codes? Who should we reach out to? What do you want to hear us talk about? Let's get some feedback going.
Randy thought about AEW tonight. Yeah, I mean it's out there, right? And I picture more people are watching AEW just because it's on, TBS and TNT rather.
FTR versus FTR and Daniel Garcia versus House of Black. That really has me for Collision. Like, that's what I'm going to go back and watch it specifically for.
About Big Bill and Ricky versus the Sex Gods.
I don't even know if they can use that name anymore.
I don't think they are. Hey, stop calling them that.
somewhere Kylie Ray just frowny face that comment.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm going to check our Instagram. It's just going to be sad face.
Seems like every time they have a Battle of the Belts, it's a TNA pay-per-view. Yeah, I think that's just the nature of the beast these days, that there's so much content out there with WWE and AEW that if you're TNA, you just got to put it out there when you can. You're just going to have to put out, the best product you can, and your loyals will be out there, and maybe a few people will check you out. That's all you can hope for right now.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the best way to really put out material anyways. Do what's right for you, run your schedule, and there's going to be natural competition, but you're not always going to want to try and compete with like what an AEW is doing or what a WWE is doing. I think the best thing TNA can do is just do what they do, and eventually people are going to catch on. More people, as they've been going on, have heard TNA is not as bad as it used to be. And
Right.
You get a pay-per-view like this is a chance to really bring in fans. People just got to find Access TV.
Yeah. Or, maybe they'll eventually get on a different, station.
That's the hope, right?
Right. I think, that would be nice. If TNA could get like a major TV deal, I think that'd be good for wrestling.
It's bad. It's bad. I always feel like such a bad fan because TNA is so good when I watch it on pay-per-view, and then I miss the week to week.
There's so much out there. They should bring back the Octagon ring. Randy doesn't have Access TV, which is why he misses Twitch, I'm sure. I feel that way almost with NXT some weeks too, I'm just not a huge fan. Some of the characters are a little, cartoons, but when I watch those NXT like live events, those premium live events, like all those shows kick ass.
Plus, Dave, how many kids you got?
I got 5.
How are you gonna keep up with just being our age? There's enough in life that it's like you really got to make time to watch wrestling, and it is pick and choose, kind of see what you like and what channels you have.
Yeah.
Luckily, I got a Fire Stick that gets most everything under the sun. Waiting for the Iron Claw to come to that bitch.
Oh, Trinity.
Sass, Randy, we didn't even ask you guys. Have you seen the Iron Claw? And what were your thoughts?
All right, Trinity there got a submission. Grace almost gets the pinfall with a reversal. Oh, there's a rear view mirror. I don't know what she calls it these days. And, Jordynne Grace just gets that shoulder up. So, will we have TNA champion? Sass says, not yet. Definitely have to soon. Randy has not seen the Iron Claw yet either. Okay. I will tell you that I thought with my girlfriend's daughter, and she's a non-wrestling fan, and she enjoyed it. She definitely found herself hating Fritz von Erich.
And the one thing is, don't get hung up on the historical inaccuracies. That was one thing that Dave, I didn't even tell you about this, that after we did our Iron Claw review, I was very down on it because it kind of got into territory that I wasn't trying to get. And what I realized, Dave, is we were playing with a lag that day. Yeah. So when I was making my explanation at the beginning, you had just started to talk. So I never got to say that we're going to focus on the positives. And we really kind of focused on everything we didn't like, which is fine because you're hearing it from hardcore wrestling fans, what they thought. But I love I love the whole aesthetic of the movie. The graphics when they were presenting the matches was good. I love the black and white at the beginning when Fritz was wrestling. I wasn't hung up on the stories that they cut corners on because it made sense. I really enjoyed it as a movie, and I think it could be, if not the best wrestling movie, it could be number 2 to The Wrestler. But you just got to have that suspension of disbelief that you bring into regular wrestling.
Right.
And I'm going to agree with you. Fuck the Ric Flair character. That's the only part of the movie that I don't feel bad complaining about. Because I thought it was such a glaring misstep when everything else about it was so good.
Oh, Trinity almost gets the win here.
And Randy, I think AJ liked it.
Yeah.
But I think AJ is such a fan of that time and just such a big wrestling fan that he couldn't separate his heart from his brain at that point.
I think he gets a kick out of the fact of some of the historical inaccuracies, and I think he actually kind of enjoys talking about that. But yeah, actually from talking to him, I think he overall did like the movie.
Harley Race was decent. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't as glaring a hole as the Ric Flair one was. Because the Freebirds didn't talk. They filled their role beautifully. Jerry Jarrett talked for so little, but was perfect in that role. MJF was decent as Lance Von Erich, if you know what you're looking for.
We got a winner here, folks. And Randy will spoil it for you, Joe. Great words. We got a new Knockouts champion.
But highly worth checking out. And it should be coming to Max soon because a lot of those A24 films, as they come out of theaters, they're going right to Max.
Yeah. I wonder who that gentleman is with Dana Brooke, if anyone knows. Well, big victory for Jordynne Grace. We got a new Knockout Women's Champion, and will we close this with another new champion, Moose?
You got to wonder, is Trinity on her way out? You know, that's all the talk, but could it just be talk?
So how many champions have we got tonight here?
Let's look.
Sabin retained. Oh, well, we had new TNA Knockouts Tag Champions.
Yep, so that's one.
Yeah. And then you have to go back to the pre-show. I will spoil this now. Sorry, Debbie, if it wasn't Crazy Steve won the TNA Digital Media Championship.
Okay, so is Grace the new Charlotte Flair always winning?
Well, I mean,
I think so in the way that if you're having somebody that's going to leave and you have to put the championship back on somebody, Grace is that top-notch competitor, that top-notch lady. You're in that spot. So I think so, but I wouldn't have thought to describe it like that. Now, guys, we are getting ready for the main event here. What do you think? Was the watch along worth doing? Do we do it again next time? I got to say, Sass, Randy, you guys really made the watch along tonight. Anybody that's not commenting, we still enjoy the fact that you tuned in for a minute or two to be with us. But, if you're enjoying it, click like, click share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And I think I might play a commercial here while we wait for the main event, because tonight's watch along was brought to you by Drink Game Up.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.
Guess we needed a tag out moment there.
I was just playing a quick commercial because we had time. We were we're pushing this Game Up sponsorship that we're hoping to get. And it's time for me to click that last graphic.
That's right, baby. Shelley and Moose. Main event time. TNA World Champion Alex Shelley puts it all on the line against Moose. And I'm interested to see here. Moose, I imagine Challenger should be coming out first. I see the lights dimmed. I'm expecting this as part of Moose's entrance, but since I don't have the volume on, I don't know. Does Moose win, Randy? We seem to think so. That's what we're picking. And it is Moose coming out first.
I was about to ask. I didn't know if we had already covered it about whether Moose was going to win or not, because we talked about this yesterday on the show kind of quick. Bringing it up again tonight. I was thinking about doing a special preview show, but with this podcast, we load up our schedules enough that.
Yeah, it looks like Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards, Alisha Edwards, and Brian Meyers all coming out.
This is one thing they really do good is these entrances. And I don't know, it's hard because I've seen Moose in this position before. He's held that title, but then, he hasn't stayed on top like that.
I think they said that was D'Angelo Williams with him.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Anytime an NFL player is involved, they've done it a couple times over the years, they will pair him with Moose.
Mm-hmm. Here comes TNA World Champion Alex Shelley. And I got to say, I'm really happy that Alex has gotten this run with the TNA World Championship.
Yeah, you see that Moose sucks sign that I'm seeing behind Moose in this entrance. And that's one thing I've always heard is when I've been to live shows, people will chant for Moose. There will always be somebody that says Moose sucks. Is he my favorite? No. But you can't deny the talent he has. He seems like a guy that would go to WWE. Perfect size. I think WWE could help him work on the charisma. That might be the only thing that could be added to in the Moose deal.
Alex Shelley is kind of the perfect TNA heavyweight champion, all right? Just because of the history he has with the company and he can wrestle.
The history, he can wrestle, he can high fly.
Yeah.
Alex Shelley, a great team with Kushida, time splitters. And then, of course, we know him with the Motor City Machine Guns. Last match of the night. This is what everybody's been anticipating.
Yeah, and this will be the one I'm interested to see if we get any surprises.
Yeah, I almost feel like there's got to be a surprise. Maybe after the event, do they go out with one big bang before their TV tapings?
Well, I mean, if you're going to do a big surprise, too, in this match, then it's got to be somebody you would consider a main event competitor. And I wonder who that could be. Yeah, it'd be interesting if we got a surprise at the end. Yeah, Matt Riddle would have been an interesting one if he wasn't on that Battle in the Valley card.
Yeah, he would be interesting to see who they could bring in against. But I mean, I'm just as excited about seeing him compete in that New Japan ring. Who are they going to put him up against? Him and a mystery partner versus Zack Sabre Jr. and Bad Dude Tito. That is going to be a hard hitting match.
Yeah, Callahan could be interesting, especially if Moose wins because they had that feud before too. So Callahan coming back, maybe going after Moose to challenge him would be interesting. Huh. All right. It is 10:30, and we're about to ring the bell. Let's get this match started. Here we go.
Those all new branded belts that they dropped this week looking good.
Goldberg, that would be something. Is it just me or does this ring seem small? That's interesting because Moose is probably the biggest competitor like all night, and maybe it is a little smaller.
Wow, now that Sass has said that, I'm watching the ring like, hey, does it look smaller?
Well, Alex Shelley with the water spit in the eyes.
And it's different because you got the two size difference. It looks small with Moose in it, but it almost looks giant with Shelley in it.
Yeah, I always forget, like, Goldberg is a free agent. You never know. I think his asking price might be a little high, though.
It could be. And would he want to make that jump to Impact? Like, does he have enough left that going to Impact would make like a significant difference for him? I'd be interested to see it, but I don't know what chance he would necessarily take.
It would create a buzz, but, you know, with no national TV exposure, how much does it really mean? Is he worth the price? I think he would do it for the money.
Yeah, especially if it's like an easy schedule, just have to get out there for,
Sure.
you know, just a few matches. That's got to be nothing.
Oh, yeah. And if you were going to do Goldberg, Moose would probably be the perfect opponent, too.
Yeah, because that football background. Yeah, what is that? Fet music? There's been a couple places that they've definitely put rings in that I'm like, wow, I can't believe they got that in here. There was that one American Rana when, what was it? AR Fox jumped from the balcony to the ring.
Yeah, Fet music.
Sharing a little late in the show, but I figured why not get this on Reddit?
Joe out here working. Putting that work in. Shelley.
I'm just glad my voice is held up for this long.
Moose with a high drop kick. I forget what a good drop kick that guy has.
Yeah,
he's like definitely a great athlete. You know, I think back what Randy says about him possibly going to WWE, and it's kind of almost surprising he hasn't, given the fact that he can talk, he's huge, and he does have some great athletic ability.
Yeah, a lot of people like to focus on what Moose can't do, but I feel like WWE would look at that drop kick and start from there. Be like, we can work with that, and then just make him into a bigger star. Like, imagine if he went to NXT and got the Jade Cargill treatment.
Oh, for sure.
So much bigger of a star.
Yeah, he can work like a big man, no sell, beat the crap out of it, and then occasionally pull out like a drop kick or something.
Now that Vince McMahon's gone, does it make it easier for him to get into WWE?
Yeah,
because you got to wonder what's keeping him out. What did they see at tryouts that they're like, we just can't pull the trigger on this guy?
Yeah, him versus Bobby Lashley. That would be a very fun match. I feel like Bobby Lashley and Roman Reigns is a match that we could pull the trigger on. We still haven't really got.
Yeah. Oh, way better than Omos.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Omos has nowhere near the athletic ability of a Moose. He's just a very, very big man. I'm surprised Omos is still under contract, honestly, only because they're not really using him.
Yeah, and that seems like somebody that would stay employed under Vince McMahon.
Right.
Otherwise, what do you use him for besides an enforcer?
Hey, he's somebody that, would be interesting in the TNA ring.
Yeah. Find a different environment.
I have not heard that he was let go, but that would be something if he was here tonight. What do you think about, in terms of just about, Sass has his thoughts on Omos. What about, hold on a second here. Randy Osgood, I think he's doing house shows. Okay, good to know. Hey, what do you think about a guy, I think he had some problems out of the ring, but like Lars Sullivan, like that look he had and stuff like that. I thought, if he didn't have that shit going on outside the ring and maybe he wasn't being a creeper or something, I don't remember everything that went on, but he might have been able to make an impact.
Yeah, it didn't seem like it seemed like WWE messed him up. Who knows? It could be the wrestling business overall. But if he could have stayed in, I think he could have done something in Impact.
I think he
has a body that looked right for wrestling.
He had a really unique look, too.
Yeah, and it's like you take what you learn in WWE, go learn more in Impact, and he's going to be a main event star, but he definitely could have been something.
And Randy talking about too bad Patrick Clark had problems. He was actually in news recently for apologizing to WWE, HBK. Seemed very sincere. And I think there's talk that Booker T might actually give him a chance.
And I believe that, I think I was watching Jim Cornette when he was talking about it. And Cornette said that might have been one of the best apologies in the business.
Sure.
Because for the most part, it was an apology that stayed away from excuses.
It did.
It was trying to own the problems. And that, doesn't that make the biggest apology or the best apology?
Absolutely. Yeah. AJ saw it and he said it was well done too. He said it might be a little too late. And I think that was basically a reference that at this point in your career, are you going to get another shot? Hearing that Booker T might give him a shot, that would be a place to start, and you just keep trying to work your way up. He was definitely a guy, though, with his charisma and the way he performed, that he had a shot to be something at one point.
I'm going to say it's definitely too little too late on becoming a big national star.
Right.
But this could be his foot back in the door in the business.
Sure.
And if he's able to do it at any level and try and make up for the wrongs that happened, that could be a nice story for him. So he may not get to the big time, but he may get to do again what he liked doing.
Oh, Snake Eyes by Moose, Alex Shelley, reeling. Does WWE bring back Tough Enough? I don't see why at this point, other than if they wanted to do something with TV. But we have NXT. I guess I'm just a guy who's like, you know what? There's so much wrestling content out here right now. Like, we don't need Tough Enough.
I'm a guy that doesn't care about Tough Enough. But if I had to make a prediction, they are going to develop a new form of Tough Enough. It may come back with the same name, but I think they're going to want to find that ancillary wrestling programming that they can put out, because there is a reality show wrestling fan base.
Hey, we had TNA Gut Check at one point too, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the TNA boot camp that they did as well, I believe. I don't know if that was something separate.
What about maybe AEW will have a I know they had their backstage access or whatever it was,
Yeah, that kind of programming just doesn't bring me in, but it will bring in television viewers. And I don't always think about like what is mainstream or like what the mainstream fan would enjoy.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think reality TV is what it once was. I don't think it's
changed.
Yeah, I think it's just they just flooded the market with reality shows. And I'm not talking about just wrestling. I'm talking about reality TV. There was just so much reality shows out there at one point, Moose, that big rock bottom slam, goes for the cover. Alex Shelley kicks out. Does AEW have another show on a cruise? Possible. I haven't heard anything though.
That's a good question. I wonder if these problems with Jericho or these issues popping up prevented them from being on his newest cruise.
Well,
I think when they did the other cruise with Jericho, they were so new that it was a chance to get their name out there.
Mm-hmm.
They might do it, but it feels, I don't know if it's something they would do themselves.
Oh, Moose with a big chop on Alex Shelley. I know Jericho's cruise is having wrestling, and it says from AEW. Yeah, I think
I could be wrong then.
No, I think AEW wrestlers will be on that cruise, but I don't think as far as we'll see it on TV though. But who knows?
That was one of the beauties of the pandemic, that there was so much like different programming that they did that since you didn't have live crowds, you had to do something different. I really like AEW's innovation in the beginning too. I feel like
I think that cruise happened before the pandemic though.
Oh, okay.
Because the cruise always happens in January.
Oh, that's a good point. And I was thinking too, if there's a pandemic, how would they be on the cruise?
Right. Yeah. So I don't remember if that was the year, but if it was the year, then it would have been a few months before everything started shutting down, because things started shutting down in March.
That's wild to hear that TNA in a positive light chant. Interesting stat I just heard they dropped on the broadcast. Highest rated or highest attended event in the last 8 years.
The AEW papers are too long. That's Randy Joe will agree with you that all day.
Yeah, it's always by the main event. I'm struggling to stay awake, and plus the pacing, they just feel like you get so worn out by the end of it. Like, I'm not worn out now. I'm ready to play video games after this.
Yeah, I just can't spend money for cruise like that. I get that. Like, I'm a fan too, but at the end of the day, like, it just seems like so much money for that kind of event.
And then how much more money are you spending on the cruise?
Right.
If you're a cruise person like AJ, you might enjoy it, but
right.
I've never been on a cruise, and I can't see myself enjoying one. But
if you want to be on a cruise and you're a wrestling fan, then why not?
I've seen Titanic. I don't know how I'd swim in the ocean.
Shelley and Moose battling on the outside. All right, both guys down. Yeah. Sass agreeing with you here on that. I guess the Titanic experience here.
Plus, you think about it, if you think about the cruise as like a closed environment, what if somebody gets sick on that cruise? You got to think about the possible food poisoning at the buffet. There's a lot of weird things. There's a lot of things I think about like that.
What's the weirdest place you guys seen wrestling at? For me, I don't know, but probably the same as Joe. I mean, we've seen it like at a bar, right?
Yeah, Pistol Pizza's pretty weird.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see it in the park across from the house. We've seen it at a horror carnival we've called matches for.
Yeah.
Empty arenas were kind of weird during COVID, like before you got used to them.
Yeah, I think it was an interesting moment too. I remember when Michael Cole was saying something and Bailey just responded to Cole, during the match. And I was like, oh, that's interesting.
That's funny. That's actually, I remember a question we asked Wrecking Ball Legursky when interviewing him for the Grizzled Great Get Together. Top of the WWE building. That's a good call. I forgot all about that. Rey Mysterio got thrown off of it.
Yes, Money in the Bank. Hey, we're talking top of the building. Let's give it out to the old school. Cobra Hall, Paul White, the Giant, and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, that's another one. Wow.
Yeah.
Burgess was interesting. I like the WCW events they did at the beach.
Sure. Yeah, David went to the beach, the Sturgis one. Yeah, interesting.
If you watch Fight TV, there's a Zona promotion in Mexico that wrestles in a junkyard. They've done some co-events with GCW.
Bruce about ready to hit a giant power bomb here. 1, 2. Shelley kicks out.
Moose has looked a lot better in this match than I expected.
Well, I see 10:45 coming up right now, and I think, okay, we're probably nearing the end of this match within the next 10 minutes here.
Yeah, because they're really picking up the pace. I mean, currently now. I'm at the Moose power bomb, the pin. Shelley kicks out.
Yeah, Randy, I'm waiting for something to happen. I think we all are.
I like that everybody's dealing with this little delay and like there's no problem with it.
Yeah, well, we're used to it. Things, that's how it goes, I think, with streaming nowadays. All right, Shelley. Oh, big clothesline. Moose is still on the feet, though.
Who's the big surprise they could drop on us? Like, I can't even fathom somebody because to me, TNA got those good mid-level players. Mm-hmm. But was there somebody big that came out of WWE that we're just missing? Yeah, Randy, you're right about technology these days.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that we've missed here. Oh, here comes D'Angelo, Brian Meyers, Eddie Edwards. Oh, here comes Kushida and Chris Sabin, too, while we're at it. And Randy, here we go.
I can't believe we've been going for a little over 3 hours here.
Yeah, it was 18 minutes. I think we did longer at Survivor Series, though.
Oh, yeah, that's the amazing thing about these watch-alongs. You think about them and you think, like, wow, how are we going to cover that time? And then
that's the first one we did.
It just keeps going.
That's the first one we did. We had a third person, too.
Yeah.
I will say, it's definitely, these are going good, but I definitely feel like it is nice to have a third person when we're doing that watch-along, too.
Oh, yeah, because there's chances to tag out. And when somebody's leaving, it's not like you're just leaving one person there to cover it.
Right.
I think we've done decent tonight.
Yeah.
I think we've also made any times we stepped out pretty quick. I've never forced the piss quicker than earlier. I think I heard something.
Yeah, I think I've had two leaves. One was to walk around. The P.
Yeah, that's another thing we didn't even talk about is standing up and at least stretching the legs.
Yeah, and sitting down when you pee. Speaking of AJ, he brings it.
And thank you, Sass, for the compliment. Like, it's weird because when you're in the moment, you're like, I hope somebody's enjoying this. Like, we're seeing people talk, so we know there's some kind of engagement. But, like, I don't know. I don't watch along, so I don't know what comes off as a good host. Is that Chris Van Vliet in that corner that I'm seeing?
Looks like it. It's funny. I just looked up that too. Yeah. Thank you, Randy. Oh, hey, Chris Van Vliet. Check your DMs, bro.
Those big interviews we're trying to get. What interviews do you like? Who do you guys want to hear us interview? I don't know if we've ever asked the fans. We've just always kind of gone after our favorites.
Our favorites, or who we think might be available or whatnot. Yeah.
We got really lucky during COVID. Like, that is a high watermark that, like, now we're just trying to come around on. Yeah, Dave really came into his own with the interviews. It was kind of out of force and necessity. He was able to get so many, like, reach out to people. And then, I give him a couple questions, but he comes up with the rest and just puts together a great presentation.
Ooh. Moose laying these chops in right now. Alex Shelley trying to fire up here. I'm looking at we're at the time 10:50. Okay, so yeah, I'm interested to see how this wraps up. Really interesting interviews. Yeah, Randy. I mean, they're always a lot of fun getting to talk to some of your favorites.
Yeah, of the interviews we've done, what have been your favorites, Randy and Stas? I don't know if you've checked out any.
Yeah. Well, we didn't do a lot of interviews since Sass probably started watching and checking us out. So,
I don't know if he digs back in the archives because I always wonder how like in-depth people get with podcasts. Do they watch like just the newer ones? Oh, Randy, that is the Holy Grail. That is a story we will tell off air someday.
All right.
It's tougher with the big companies. TNA, AEW, they want you to get through a press agent.
Alex Shelley firing up here. Moose, go behind. Shelley, reversal. Counters after counters. Here we go. Moose with a giant spear, Joe. And Moose is our new TNA World Champion. Randy, he's going to tell you about it too. Moose, new champ. So, Joe, we'll see that in another minute. Sorry for the spoilers.
I'm glad I checked Facebook because I had something ruined from Battle in the Valley already.
Giant spear, 10:52. There's enough time. We could probably possibly see something else happen here.
Yeah, because knowing Moose, it's not like we're going to have a big celebration to relish this moment.
No, I mean, you could have a guy
but TNA hasn't done it for him yet.
You could have a Josh Alexander come out because remember, Moose was how he won the Impact Championship the first time was he had cashed in on Josh Alexander.
That's true. I would love to I would just love to see what the next feud's going to be, even if it's not a debut.
Wait. Moose is here seeing some music. Nick Nemeth! Oh!
Yes, we did talk to Waves and Curls. That Trayvon Jordan was a great interview. Any of the three we've done.
Wow, Nick Nemeth is in the ring, Joe. I'm sure you're about to see this.
I'm waiting.
Chad off with Moose.
This. I think I even said this wasn't possible because David Finlay on the other card.
Yeah, but he wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't technically on it. So yeah. Oh, it's that zigzag neck breaker. Nemeth firing people up here. This guy kind of reminds me of this.
We interviewed the Von Erich boys deep in the archives.
Yeah, we got to do a full interview with Ross and Marshall. That was a lot of fun.
This is great because we're finally getting to see Nemeth outside of a WWE ring. And he just looks so excited to be doing it that, Randy, you are right. This is electric. I did not expect this.
Yeah, rips his shirt off, the TNA shirt underneath. I mean, it's great, right? Because he's doing stuff for New Japan and TNA, and I'm kind of happy to see that. And I think part of that is, we were talking earlier, right, with that giant AEW roster. He's spent so many years being just a guy on a bloated WWE roster. Hey, now he can go to TNA. He can do stuff for New Japan. He can make a difference.
This is the kind of move that TNA needed. I didn't think they'd get a star this level. I would not have predicted this.
And he could still do some stuff with AEW too. Relationships are open.
Yeah, I mean, they get criticized about getting old WWE guys, but that might have been one of the best pickups. So now that the event is over, match of the night, Dave, what did you think it was? Sass, Randy, let us know in the comments. We're just going to give you a couple minutes here before we wrap this up.
For me, see, there's got to be that tag match or that three-way X Division match.
Yeah, I've got to go back, but I hate to just say, yeah, I agree or same, but it's got to be one of those two.
Yeah. And Sass is saying, let's see here, the four-way tag match. So I think that's definitely one that we're all considering here.
Well, guys, it has been a great night with you. Thank you for staying up with us. You'll see when we do another live watch along, but Randy, we hope you're in the comments. Sass, we hope you're in the comments. Everybody else watching, thank you. And after such a good pay-per-view like that, Dave, there's only one place we can go, right?
It's got to go there.
Read about the Northern Wrestling Federation in the book presented by Russellville.com, The Pro Wrestling Vault, Volume 2. Hear the story of Roger Ruffin, the man who trained Carl Anderson, the Monster Abyss, Jordan Clearwater, Chris Harris, and Jillian Hall.
Plus 45 other short stories including Jazz, Bobby Eaton, Kamala, Thunder Rosa, Mario Mancini, Scott Casey, PJ Black, Kerry Morton, Sal Renaro, Jeremiah Plunkett, Colby Carino, Bam Bam Malone, and many others.
Get your book today at Russellville.com. Russellville. It's where wrestling